freedom, man. That's what it's all about. You've got to groove on freedom, like the good book says.
Welcome. You are listening to What on Earth is Happening. This show will discuss the topics of human consciousness, mind control, natural law, the occult, and all issues that affect the freedom of the people of Earth. What on Earth is Happening will endeavor to shine light upon the darkness of our world and to offer empowering solutions to the problems we face as humanity approaches its critical moment of choice. And now, here is your host, Mark Passio.
Welcome one and all, you're watching What on Earth is Happening. I'm your host, Mark Passio. My website, whatonearthishappening.com. Ladies and gentlemen, government is slavery. And here on What on Earth is Happening, we are ending slavery one mind at a time. Thank you for tuning in today, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode number 233 of What on Earth is Happening. Today is Sunday, August 2nd, 2020. We have a great show lined up for you here today. I'm going to be bringing a few special guests on to talk about social media outreach and to clear the air on some accusations that have actually been leveled against me about acting as a censor. We're going to be talking about what we did here at What on Earth is Happening to help a social media group essentially limit trolling and complete inaccuracies and disinformation within a Facebook group. So we're going to have some people who were instrumental in helping to put out good quality information in that group coming up in a few moments. Let's switch over to my presentation. I want to show the artwork for today's show and talk about what else we're going to be getting into on the show today. So this is the art for today's show, social media group outreach, and we're also going to continue with questions and clarifications. So this will be a call-in show in the second and third hours. The first hour will be dedicated to my guests, then we'll be taking your call-ins and questions in the second and third hour of the broadcast. You can still donate to help complete my first ever full-length documentary film called Mark Passio and the Science of Natural Law. Up on gifts.whatonearthishappening.com, my gifts section of my website, there are 5 donation tiers to donate. All donations will go directly to production costs, mainly right now paying a video editor, and that will also be the actual pressing of the documentary DVDs and flash drives. All donors will receive one free complimentary copy of the completed documentary on flash drive and DVD. So you can make the donations for the documentary at gifts.whatonearthishappening.com. Please use the gift site for documentary donations, or the documentary free copy will not be shipped to you unless you use gifts. So don't use the regular donation page for that. Regular donations, the page for just a donate is just that. It's a regular donation to the cause. If you want to receive the free documentary on flash drive and DVD, please use the gift site for that purpose. What on Earth is Happening Donation Gifts has some new items available, namely new t-shirts, men and women's. We have my new flash drive, Worldview Violence and the Real Pandemics there. I'll probably be releasing that for free within probably about 2 weeks or so. And then, maybe 3 weeks, something like that. And then we have the complete Mark Passio One Great Work Collection solid state drive, which has been a very popular item. All that and more available at gifts.whatonearthishappening.com. This is the last week that I'll be announcing that we are working proudly in cooperation with Autonomy. I will, however, be showing people that I have permanent links put up on the whatonearthishappening.com website. I want to show people those links today. So Autonomy is the brainchild of Richard Grove of tragedyandhope.com. Many people will know Richard as he was the filmographer and video editor of my natural law seminar. Richard has always done great work in his own right. I highly recommend people checking out his work at tragedyandhope.com and checking out Autonomy at getautonomy.info. It's a great teaching and learning group that teaches people technology skills and life skills in general on how to really do what we do as independent media creators. So that's Autonomy. I want to step out for a moment out of the presentation and go to my website. You could switch back over. Yep. So at whatonearthishappening.com, on the top, I have placed an Autonomy banner because we are now an official affiliate of Autonomy, the Autonomy Unlimited group. Okay, so if you click here, it will take you to an explanation of what Autonomy makes available as far as their learning course. So it'll take a moment to come up. It's still connecting. Looks like there might be a connection issue happening here. Could be just a caching issue. Just give it a moment. Well, we'll let that load in the background. I should have had it loaded up. Then down here in my small banners section, there's this book that you can check out called 19 Skills for Success Not Taught in School from Autonomy. I'll click that one as well. There's the main Autonomy page that I just clicked previously. We just got it up. You can watch videos about what the Autonomy course is about and go as far as you would like regarding Autonomy. Again, I would liken it, there's the 19 Skills book. Again, this page will take you right to that section, okay, where you could download a copy and check it out. Again, Autonomy is kind of like what I'm doing with the How to Become the True Media webinar. It is going to give you technological skill sets, and not just that, just general life skill sets about communication, publishing, etc., and how to drive, your goals forward in whatever enterprise you're setting out to accomplish. So check it out. It's getautonomy.info. Click the banners on the whatonearthishappening.com website. What on Earth is Happening is now an official affiliate of Autonomy Unlimited. So very happy that partnership is now in place. And I wish Autonomy all the success, and I thank them for their help that they are giving us technologically with What on Earth is Happening. So that's Autonomy. Let's continue with the slide presentation. The How to Become the True Media webinar is going in full force, full steam ahead. Class number 5 will be this Tuesday, August 4th. Thank you to all the students who have been attending. I trust that you are really getting something out of this seminar, and people have sent some very positive feedback my way. The webinar starts every week at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S., and class instruction begins promptly at 8 p.m. So that gives all students 1 hour to get into the webinar. Please be on time or you might miss important information that will not be repeated. Keep a notepad handy for notes and questions. Again, I stop periodically to take questions during the webinar. And I recommend headphones, especially if you are going to ask a question in the class. Headphones will avoid feedback and echo. If you have any technological problems at all getting into the class, or really any problems at all regarding how to become the true media, please email us at truemedia@whatonearthishappening.com. So looking forward to this week's class on Tuesday evening. For this particular show, we are doing call-in in the second and third hour. You can call into the show via Discord at whatonearthishappening.com/Discord. You could also use whatonearthishappening.com/show and click the call-in link. Either one of those links will take you right into the Discord server. I recommend the Discord app, not using your web browser to connect. I also recommend headphones or a earbud set to avoid feedback and echo. Okay, so if you want to call into the show today we're taking calls in the second and third hour. Also, if you want to email your questions, you could send questions or clarification requests to questions@whatonearthishappening.com. Once again, the email for questions or clarification requests, questions@whatonearthishappening.com. I'll be doing quite a few email questions today. Last week, I cleared the air once and for all, publicly presented photos that I took in real time, and I included the photos with the zip file for the podcast episode. So anybody who wants to doubt this can check the EXIF information, the EXIF information in the photos and see that they were taken when I said that they were taken. And then I uploaded them to my computer and posted them in real time last week on the show. This is the original photo. I had zoomed in last week on the slide. This was the zoomed in version, as you can see. So I'm just showing these are the actual original photos embedded in my slide presentations. I took them on a Galaxy Note 10 Plus in wide format mode. Okay, so that's the full data. And this is the zoomed in image that I presented as a slide last week. I included the original photos to clear the air that yes, I was actually appointed priest to the Church of Satan. I hope this resolves this nonsense that somehow I'm not telling the truth about this, or that I was not appointed priest in the Church of Satan once and for all. As I've said an innumerable amount of times, I used an assumed name, meaning a fake name, not my legal name, which is Mark Passio. I used the assumed name for people who don't know what that means. I've actually gotten questions asking me, when you say assumed name, what does that mean? People actually don't know what that means, sadly. Okay? It means that I used a fake name in the Church of Satan, Mark Rokar, which is a demon from the book called the Pistis Sophia in the Gnostic tradition, which is the faith wisdom of the Gnostics. If you read the Pistis Sophia, there was a description by the Jesus character in the Pistis Sophia talking to Mary Magdalene, giving his description of what hell and the torments of hell look like. And he described one of the demons of hell with the name Rokar as being a punisher of sinners in hell. I took my name in Satanism when I was involved as Rokar. And again, folks, for new listeners and viewers, I just want to say again, there's prerequisite material for this broadcast. This is a series. If you are coming in new as a listener or viewer, you don't want to start here, okay? It's cumulative information. You should start at podcast number 1 on the archives of my website in the podcast section. Click podcasts in order, okay? And you should listen in order at your own pace and not skip around. Okay, I'm going to say this every week. All right, so this is the zoomed in version of this slide that was my appointment from Anton LaVey himself. The final picture I took was a letter that accompanied my appointment from Anton LaVey's former life partner, Blanche Barton. This is the zoomed in version that I posted as a slide. Okay, so that'll be in the slides again this week. I've been putting some little jabs at the whole coronavirus nonsense in my beginnings of my shows. Here's a nice one that I found this week. Jeffrey Epstein's friends said that I have to wear a mask. And there's Ralph from The Simpsons with his mask on. You know, this is how ridiculous all of the jackasses that believe the media and believe the people behind the media that are Satanists, that are dark occultists, you know, actually listening to what they say, thinking that they care about them. You're little retarded children. You're slow people. You're slow children is what you are. Okay? And I'm not saying it nice to anybody anymore. And I'm just going to just let it fly. That's it. You know, get as offended as you like. If you believe in all of this nonsense, you're a fucking retard. And that's it. That's all there is to say to you. You're a naive child who doesn't know how the world really works. And you think you do, and you're fucking wrong. You're wrong, and you're dumb. That's really the answer. Get as fucking offended about it as you like, assholes. Okay? That's how we're going to play it from here on out. From here on out. And, maybe I have been being too hard on people who wear masks. Look, folks, I know I can get a little upset. I can get a little mad from time to time, just a little, right? I can't even do this with a straight face, okay? There's the answer. Before you judge people who wear masks, walk a mile in their shoes. Where'd you get them at? You get them at the clown shoe warehouse? The big red floppy clown shoes? Is that where you got them? You went to the wholesale outlet for clown shoes? 'Cause you know what? You don't wear clown shoes. You are clown shoes. Okay? That's all I have to say about these fucking morons out there. All right? Because honestly, then it gets serious, because this is what it's really coming to. All the so-called patriots, you fucking cowards, okay, who won't say anything against the police. You won't say anything against government. No, but they'll be the people coming to jab a needle in your arm. Trust it. Know it. Know it like you know your own name, fucking moron Republicans. Because that's what you are. Fucking moron Republicans, just like the fucking moron Democrats that you mock. You're both fucking morons. All of you. Okay? So drawing the line, I'm going to draw the line, no mask, that's where I draw the line. And while the globalists, the so-called Illuminati, the Illuminati of the bottom of a fucking garbage waste bin, okay, are handing them a mask, then they put the mask on and now they have a needle coming at them saying no mandatory vaccine. That's where I draw the line. Yeah, but then wait until your job tells you you can't work here anymore. Then how fast are you fucking cowards going to be lining up for the shot? Fucking cowards. Because that's what you are. Anybody tries to put a needle in me, you're going to be facing the front end of a shotgun or an AK, boy. That's what's going to happen, son. You ain't putting anything in my body. I own my body and I'm not your fucking slave. And then they'll say, a biometric chip, that's where I draw the line. And then when they say you can't work and you can't buy food without it, then they'll be lining up for the FEMA camp train. Because you're fake ass patriots and you're fucking cowards. That's what you are, boy. I won't even belabor it anymore. I've basically said what I need to say to you. Cowards. You know why they don't spray children with DDT? Spray them in the fucking head with DDT anymore like they used to? Because someone's questioned settled science. This whole thing about settled science, you have your fucking heads up your ass. And you're doing harm as a result. It was settled science that cigarettes were perfectly healthy for people to just smoke down. And doctors were recommending smoke Camels. They're better for your lungs. Filterless, While the papers have all kinds of caustic chemicals and the fertilizers they grow tobacco with have all kinds of caustic chemicals. I'm not talking about just all natural organic tobacco and natural hemp papers. No, I'm talking about like Philip Morris mass manufactured cigarettes loaded with toxins. No, but they knew that they were causing lung cancer and all kinds of cancer. Just like they knew DDT was a caustic chemical agent causing all kinds of health problems. But they sprayed it on children's fucking heads. And it was settled science. We know what we're doing. Every nurse said, we know what we're doing. It's harmless. Every doctor said, we know what we're doing. You're fucking liars and you're immoral fucking trash. Because you don't know what settled science is. You believe in scientism is what you believe in. You believe in the illusion of science. You don't know what science is or how it's really conducted. You believe in government grant funded science, which is corrupt. It's corrupt as the fucking day is long, naive asshole child. All right? That's what it is. Totally corrupt. And people are on the fucking take, just like cops are on the take when it comes to drug dealers and mafia criminals. They're just criminals taking money. That's all fucking pigs out there are, and that's all people in the medical industry and people in the scientific community are. They're low-life fucking scumbag pigs who worry about way more about money and keeping the Lexus in the garage than they do about helping human beings. And if you think it's otherwise, you're the naive fucking imbecile and you're the problem. I'm done telling people nicely. I'm going to say it exactly how I think from my real personality, and I don't give a shit what you think anymore. We're done with that. The old persona of Mark Passio is gone forever. And now you get my real personality on the air. Because, folks, it's bullshit that you can't be mad and enlightened at the same time. There's the guy from 300, King Leonidas, who waged the battle, the unwinnable battle at Thermopylae. That's what the movie 300 was about. He's raging against the Persian liaison, coming to tell him to bow down, kicks him into the fucking pit, as he should have. He should have done worse to him. Okay? But, you know, you can be like a warrior like that, and you could be as enlightened as the Buddha or the Christ. And these are allegories about being awake to the world and still saying, you're not coming for my freedom, not without your fucking head coming off your shoulders, boy. So find out what's going to happen when you come for my rights and freedom. You will, son. You will. And that's all I have to say about that. And trust me, folks, I'm tame when it comes to some people in America, how they feel about that. I'm tame by comparison, because I've been doing this work of trying to educate people as to the immorality of government and how government is slavery, it's coercion, it's violence, and it's immoral behavior under natural law. It's spiritual, immoral behavior under the spiritual laws of creation. And I've talked about that so endlessly ad nauseum on What on Earth is Happening. If you still don't understand that government is violence and is wrong behavior, and it is immoral, and it is slavery, then you have a lot to learn, and you should go back and listen to the podcasts in order and get your fucking head out from up your ass. Because if you think government has any right to exist, you are just wrong. You're wrong as in being incorrect, and you're immoral, wrong, for supporting slavery. You are an immoral, bad person. And that's not virtue signaling. That's talking about what the objective moral truth regarding what government is. And if you don't know that by now, you're way behind the curve, and you need to catch the fuck up. So that's all the slides I have. How's that for 2 minutes of hate, huh? For what should be hated, called immoral fucking people and government slavery. You know, I'm done putting it nice, folks. You might not ever get that back on this show, because I'm talking to the immoral illiterates out there who can't get the message, who still don't understand. If you got the message by now and you don't want to hear it, good. Turn it the fuck off. All right? If you want hard copies of my items, gifts.whatonearthishappening.com. If you want to get the ARC, whatonearthishappening.com/ARC. If you want to make a donation, whatonearthishappening.com/donate. Do or don't. Okay? Whatever you want to do. Okay? I'm really fucking pretty much done with people. All right? Let's step out for a moment. Let me calm down for a second. Let me unmute. Sorry. This is in? Which one? Yeah. Folks, I tell myself every week I'm going to try to calm down, and then I lose it on the air because of how stupid people are. Especially if you were living in this shit show of a city. Let me tell you something. Philadelphia, where the Declaration of Independence was written and signed, is a total shithole of ignoramus, fucktarded people. I'll walk right out on my block and scream it out loud. I practically am, because I know everybody can hear me out this fucking window right next to me. Okay? What a bag of shit the people of Philadelphia are. I mean, you guys are bags of fucking dirt. Bags of fucking dirt. And that's my hometown I'm talking about. You're immoral fucking trash who will roll over and take it in the ass. You're losers. Losers. You're little fucking baby cowards. Let me put my headphones on to go to my guests. Folks, we're losing big. We're losing big. Really big. And if people think that this is getting any better, you guys got your head up your ass. You know? All right, all my guests, please turn your video on. Unmute yourselves. All right. Destry's not in the room. Can my producer help him get in there? I'm going to bring on 3 guests from their friends on Facebook. Destry, Will, and Scott. We're trying to connect to them. We had this working. I asked them not to turn off their video because we would probably lose it. And now we have. Good. Tell me on the air. Just say it.
Can you have Scott just turn off and back on?
Scott, please turn off your video. Toggle it. Turn it off, then back on, please. And let's get Destry back in the room. This is why I asked everybody to please not leave in video. To just stay in the room. It's not that hard. Part of the problem, folks, is this is why we need technological skills and better equipment. Otherwise, it's not worth doing, right? It's really not worth doing. So I may have to just talk to Will because the other guys can't seem to get their act together and just get their video and audio and keep it on. It's not that hard, folks. Okay? Everybody should be competent at this in the year 2020. I'm sorry, I have to say it. And this is the problem when it comes to Facebook. Keep it on me. Keep the camera on me. Okay? We might just have to fucking postpone it again. Okay? And I'll lose my shit right on the air. I don't care. I'm so tired of it. I'm so fucking tired of it. Folks, this is why you need to take my webinar. Okay? This is the reason. Everybody is generally incompetent and think that all you need to do is go up and type some shit in Facebook. We are a society that doesn't know how technology works to such an extent. People don't have fucking basic fucking computer setups with a camera and a microphone. This is not hard. This is basic communication in the 21st century. That's what this is. That's what it is. Once again, we're probably just going to have to abandon because my guests cannot get their act together enough to actually come on my show when they're invited, and I'm trying to help them get the message out regarding what we're doing with a Facebook group. But we can't get the fucking act together. This is where we're at. I'm glad this is happening. I'm glad it's happening. Let's run with this. Because what this shows us, get this the fuck off of me. Okay? Cutting out of Discord. Leave Discord. Don't go back to it. Mark. That's abandoned. We're taking calls for the rest of the show. Okay. Yeah, I cut Discord off entirely. Okay. I have to relaunch it now because I got to take calls through it. Hold on. All right. De-roll them. De-roll them, please. Just do that for me. De-roll the guests temporarily, okay? So that I'm the only one with any access in the call-in room. All right. I'm going to go to an email. How about that, okay? Because we're off to a very bad start here, okay? So let's go to questions. De-roll everybody and cut their video. Please just do it. Take your time, do it. All right.
I can't do the video part.
All right.
Just don't show it.
Are they de-rolled? I want you to de-roll them as guests. Thank you. Okay. Just do that. All right. Let's go to some email questions. Because this will actually do a better job. Here's the thing, folks. I actually invited people on the show to try to put out their message about what their group is about, what the goal of it is, and to try to clarify why I made an effort to help them to clear up disinformation and blatant government trolling in their groups. And there's not even enough technological literacy to bring them onto my show. Okay? This is where we're at as a society. This is where we're at as a society. And we think we're going to reach the fucking world. We think we as a people are going to reach the fucking world with the message of natural law. It's delusion. Delusion. That cannot be done without technological competency. And then people wonder why I get angry. I understand the fucking dynamic and how it works. And most people out there do not. And yet they think we're going to just march ourselves on the Facebook and yeah, we're going to just get the message out there. You know, I'm sorry, I don't even give a fuck if people I want to talk to are getting offended. It's delusion. You have to be competent with technology. Otherwise, why bother? Why bother? Folks, I'm just going to get harder and harder and harder on you guys. On my viewership, because you're fucking up. You're the fuck ups. You're the fuck ups. You're the fuck ups. Okay? You're the failures. The world would be changed if you actually helped. But you're incompetent. You're fucking incompetent and lazy. And you don't fucking try to learn. I'm not going to calm down. People need to fucking hear this. And hammer it into your fucking brain. You're incompetent people. That's why we're losing. What is it going to take to get you to understand? You need to learn modern communications technologies. And you need to power the fuck through it until you know it. You're not going to reach anybody talking to your asshole fucking family members. These kind of people don't fucking matter. You got to get your voice out there publicly. I really can't take it anymore, folks. I may have to go on hiatus for my health. I may have to just go on hiatus to calm the fuck down and get my health together because I can't take the stress of this. And honestly, I really don't want to. I think this is the correct visceral reaction. And anybody who's paying attention should be this angry at what's going on in the world, to our rights and our freedom. Folks, if you don't understand why I'm angry, just shut the fucking show off. How about that? If you don't get it and you don't grasp the reason why I am as angry as I am, shut this fucking broadcast the fuck off. I don't want you or need you. Let's go to some questions. Because we have to abandon guests for the second time in a row because they can't get their shit together. As a matter of fact, forget this. Forget the idea. We're not doing it. Okay? So we won't be doing that. Let everybody think what the fuck they want. As a matter of fact, how about this? I'll just explain it because I'll be able to explain it better anyway. Okay? So here's what happened. All right? Deshri started a Facebook group months ago. It very quickly got out of his hands because he doesn't understand how to manage a Facebook group. This is part of the problem. Part of the problem is people should be technologically competent. And I understand the enthusiasm for trying to do something, right? This is what we're like. We're like, okay, Mark's telling me to go do something. And so we do something that we think we know how to do, or we do what we can from the place where we're at. Okay? But ultimately, when it comes to social media, that's a different dynamic. Let me say this again, folks. Social media is it's not even slightly, it's a very different dynamic than starting your own website. Start your own website. Learn how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, ask somebody to teach you who knows how to do it. Or pay somebody to start it for you and be your webmaster. That's it. It's called you gotta sock some fucking money into it. It's called sacrifice. You may not have to be able to buy as many fucking frozen pizzas for your fucking freezer as you did last week or last month, and take some of that fucking money and put it into a website. You know? How many thousands of dollars do I fucking put into this operation? God knows the fuck why. I don't know why. It's doing exactly fucking nothing. Man, I'm telling you, all these years, you guys have stood fucking still and been a passive fucking observer. When I told you the whole time from the beginning of the fucking show it was about action. Passive observers. I'm going to continue telling you what happened. Destry starts a Facebook group. It's completely out of control. And look, folks, this isn't about telling people what they can and can't say. All right? You know what this is about? Blatant government paid trolls in the group trying to sow complete disinformation as to what natural law and anarchy are. So Destry doesn't know how to deal with this. They're overrunning the group. So I emailed him and I said, it looks like you got a bad... I saw it and I saw how bad it was, and I was getting very angry at people really doing harm to the effort of trying to get the message out there about what natural law actually is and what anarchy actually is. And the moral implications and the moral principles that underlay them. So I called Destry and asked him, do you see what I'm seeing about how badly this group is totally overtaken? And you got low quality individuals in it. You have low quality individuals who think they understand natural law and anarchy and do not. You have people in your group saying natural law means the law of the jungle. Oh, we're just a higher order being than animals, so there's no animal rights, and we can do whatever we want with them. Hold on a minute. Wait, folks, hold on. I'm stepping out of here, and I think we do have a guest. We have a guest. We have a special guest. We're going to go to our special guest regarding what a lot of people think natural law is on Facebook. Here's our special expert guest. Yeah, well, you know, natural law means that human beings are a higher order of creature than animal, and so therefore we can just do whatever we want to animals. We can slaughter them, we can eat them. Animals don't have any rights. Yeah, that's what natural law means. Fucking retard. My guest is a fucking retard. Okay? This is what the people who are posting in this group look and sound like. Yes, they look like this. Yes, I've actually witnessed them. I actually installed some spyware. They didn't realize I know how to do that. I installed some spyware in their computer, turned on their camera, and this is what they look like. Actually. They actually look like this. Okay? So that's actual... I actually lied. This is actual camera footage that I captured from their webcam in the background with spyware that I installed. Okay? And that's what they actually look like. All right? Yeah. Folks, I got to do stuff like this to even stay sane anymore. Okay? So, you know, this is what people are saying in these groups for real, to be serious now. They're saying natural law means the law of the jungle. It means the natural order that Darwin spoke about. Right? Survival of the fittest. When I have specifically said thousands of times that has exactly zero to do with what natural law is. Thousands of times. And it has nothing to do with me. there is a truth regarding what natural law is, and it is not that. It is not anything to do with the, quote, natural order, survival of the fittest, human beings having dominion over the animal kingdom. Natural law is objective, eternal, non-man-made conditions that govern the consequences of beings who have the capacity to understand objective morality. That's what it is, and that's what it always has been. That is why animals are not bound to natural law as human beings are bound to it. When a lion takes down a giraffe in Africa, and a pride of lion eats the giraffe, they are by nature carnivorous animals, and they are not held accountable for moral law, natural law, in the same way a hunter just going and shooting a giraffe because he feels like taking it as a trophy is held accountable under natural law. Is murdering a baby in a satanic ritual and chopping it up in little pieces? Is somebody not going to be held accountable to natural law, or is that going to be the same as, going out and killing a cattle, a cow, on a ranch? Of course, there's going to be even a higher order consequence for the murder of a child. Both of them still are violations of natural law because you took a life that does not belong to you to take. It's theft. Theft of life. And don't give me the plant bullshit. We've been over that a million times. Plants are connected to the earth. They are not animate. They are not animals. And yes, that is a different life order structure in the hierarchy of life. That's why it is not breaking natural law to take plant life and consume it. It grows in the earth for us and regrows in the earth. It's an extension of the earth. I would say it's less harmful to even take the fruits of flowering plants than uproot the plant itself. But don't give me the bullshit that plants are the same as animals any more than plants are the same as humans, any more than humans are the same as animals, or animals are the same as plants. It's a bullshit argument. It's a non sequitur, one having nothing to do with the other. And I've already recommended, if you don't understand that, you need to go deeper into occult knowledge, read deep level Freemasonic knowledge, deep level Rosicrucian knowledge, deep level Kabbalistic knowledge, and many other traditions, all of which talked about the non-sameness, the non-identity of plants, animals, and human beings. It's all in their literature, and they're correct in most cases about it. And I'm correct about it. And most people are not correct about it. So anyway, what these people are going in is saying, oh, veganism, that has nothing to do with natural law. No, you're fucking wrong. It does have to do with natural law. I'm just not telling everybody to go vegan cold turkey and be a militant vegan. Veganism has a lot to do with natural law because has a lot to do with the taking of animate life. And ceasing and desisting in that behavior that you do not have a right to engage in because that life is not your fucking property. Then you have people in there going, there's no such thing as objective morality, bullshit moral relativists. So again, I was going to give people independently their own opportunity to say what they thought about what's going on in the group on air, but they can't get their technological act together. So I'm sorry if that offends people or it embarrasses them, but it happens to be the case. So that idea is being abandoned, and any guest who can't get their fucking act together to be on this show will be canceled. That's it. We'll just say, sorry, you can't get it together, on to the next guest. And I rarely have guests because of shit like this, okay? But that's how it's going to work on What on Earth is Happening. You get your fucking act together with your technology, or you don't come on this show. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard, folks. It's not that hard. People have shit computers and shit internet connections because honestly, you don't care enough to fucking actually pool your money, get your fucking money together. I don't care if you have to scrounge and scrape. Don't eat for a fucking month. Take water and juice for a fucking month and don't buy any fucking solid food if you have to. How about that? Sacrifice to get the fucking technology you need. It's as important as owning a gun in today's day and age. Get your fucking technology skills under your belt, or you're not helping. You're not helping. You think you're helping, but you're not helping. And folks, I know I'm going hard on people. I'm going hard on people who want to help, because look, folks, I'm sorry. It's got to be said to you just plainly and straightly. You're not doing good enough. It's not good enough. Your effort is not good enough. Your effort is not good enough. Nobody else out there is telling you that. You know why? They're all afraid of you. They're all afraid. Oh my God, he might get offended and stop subscribing to my channel. Get as offended as you like and shut it the fuck off. How about that? I'll say that every fucking week. I don't care about viewership. I don't care about ratings. All I care about is what's true and what's going to advance the great work. That's it. And you know what? You could call that fanaticism if you want. You could call that, I go beyond that. I'll call it jihad. I'll go so far as to call it jihad, because that's where we're at. That's what this is. And no, it's not Islamic jihad. It's not any other kind of bullshit religious jihad. But this is a holy war. That's what it is. We're in a fucking spiritual holy war. And if you haven't realized that that's where we're at, and it's about the soul. It is about the soul, the mind, the body, and the soul. If you haven't figured that out yet, you're not paying attention. So, you know what? All you other little shit pussies on YouTube that are worried about your YouTube numbers and whether you have YouTube subscribers and you're taking your fucking blood money from YouTube, monetizing your channel, you're so worried about offending your audience because your Patreon might go down for the month. Turn it the fuck off, unsubscribe, don't fucking give me a fucking dime. I don't give a fuck. I'm here to tell the harsh truth. You think I give a fuck about money with what's going on in this world? If you donate, fine. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. If you subscribe on Patreon, fine. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. I care about what's true and what's right. And that's all that matters. And I care about advancing human freedom in the face of dirty fucking Nazis and communist trash roaming our streets. You got dirty fucking Nazis and communist fucking trash roaming the streets of all the cities of America. And people are worried about, we have people who say, I want to tell the truth about what's going on in the world and tell the truth about natural law. And they can't get their sound and image in a fucking computing device in the year 2020. Take the fucking course next time I offer it. How about that? Look, I'm not going to go easy on people, folks. I don't care if you're trying to help. Help. Don't try to help. This is what everybody does. They think that they're doing something good on their own terms, and most of the time, it's a paltry, shitty effort where they're actually creating more drama than they are actually getting the word out. Folks, I may have to take a couple weeks off. I may need to take at least next week off. I don't know. I'm not doing well, if you can't tell. And no, fuck faces. It has nothing to do with my diet. Come and see me, and I'll show you how strong as a fucking bull I am. You think it has to do with my diet. It has to do with your shithead fucking meat diet that's putting all the fucking hormones in your fucking brain and nervous system. That's why you can't think fucking straight to get your fucking act together and fucking tell the truth publicly. You know, then you want to say it's about my veganism. Go fuck yourself. Rat fucks. Folks, if you can't tell, I'm at a point where I'm ready to go to war. I don't know what to tell you. You guys have myopic vision. I'm talking to my viewership. I will burn this show to the fucking ground. I don't care. I'll insult everybody till no one watches. Because if you think I give a fuck about money or viewership, you don't know what I've been talking about since day one. Get involved. Be competent and do it. Learn the skills you need to learn. Learning how to use a fucking computer in the year 2020 is like knowing how to read and write 100 fucking years ago. Get your fucking act together. Sit down and learn. Take the fucking time to learn. There's no excuse anymore. I take my fucking time to do this shit and take time out of my fucking day to bring people on the air, and they can't even get their act together to be a guest. You're an invited guest. It's disrespectful. Honestly, it's disrespectful. Look, anybody who I'm inviting to be a guest on my show, you will do a Discord test with us on Saturday, or you will not be on the show, and you will have your technological act the fuck together, or you're not coming on What on Earth is Happening. That's how it's going to fly. And speaking of which, I just want to let people know, I forgot to put it in my slides because I'm losing my shit over all of this. I will be on Laura Eisenhower's show, which is called Dark to Light. She co-hosts with David Rodriguez, who is a former professional boxer. And they do a show, they co-host a show called Dark to Light, which specifically kinds of focuses on people who, you know, are exposing the darkness and trying to transmute human consciousness. And their show's very good. I've been watching it. David Icke was on last week. Very good broadcast, good production values, good topics and guests. They have graciously invited me to be on the show, and I will myself to hold my shit together on their broadcast because it's their platform. I'm losing it on my own broadcast, folks, because this broadcast belongs to me. This is my area of the internet. If you don't want to watch it, shut it the fuck off. Okay? But I will hold myself together respectfully because it is their platform. And that has been the approach I have taken. If people don't want to bring me on because of what they see here on What on Earth is Happening, that's their decision. You don't have to bring me on. Okay? But if you want to bring me on, I give you my word respectfully as your guest. I won't do this on your show. Okay? I'll tone it down for the people who are seeing me for the first time. But guess what? This is show 233 of What on Earth is Happening, and I'm not toning it down here in my lair. This is my lair. I'll do what I want here. And like I said, I'll burn this fucking place to the ground if I want. Digitally. I'll burn it to the ground. Folks, I don't know. If you can't understand my frustration, you're not paying attention. You're a half-asser. That's what you are. If you don't understand, you say, I don't understand why Mike's so angry. You're right. You don't understand. You can stop at the first two fucking words. The first three words. I don't understand. Yes, full stop. You don't need anything after that. You don't. You don't understand. You don't understand anything. You're one of the people who thinks they understand. You have your head up your ass, and you don't understand what's going on in this world. You don't know how this fucking world really works. If you did, you would understand why someone like myself gets this angry. But because you're know-nothings and you're half-assers, you say, I don't understand. How's he so angry? What could possibly make a man this angry? That's what you sound like. Little boy, little girl, half-asser, know-nothing. You don't understand. Full stop. Full period after the word understand. Stop right there. Then you'll be correctly describing yourself. All right? Let me go back and try to finish this story. I called Destry. I reached out. I said, you got bad trolls in your group, man. I mean, you have government-paid disinfo, COINTELPRO agents just ravening, frothing at the mouth, just open, pouncing in that group and just going fucking nuts. And he said, "You're absolutely right, Mark. You are saying it exactly as it is. I have thought this for months, and I'm beside myself. I don't know what to do because I don't really know how to administrate this properly. I don't know what to do about it, and I'm beside myself about it." So right there, I was happy to hear that this individual recognized that what I was saying was the case. He didn't fight me on it. He was actually glad that I reached out to him because he said, "If you have any suggestions as to what to do, I would like to hear them." And I said, absolutely. We helped reel in and clean up a couple of other Facebook groups. And yes, that's what it is. It's called reeling people in and cleaning it up. And I've asked people to do it. I've asked people to do it with groups with my name on it, or the What on Earth is Happening name or acronym. WOEIH. If it said Mark Passio, What on Earth is Happening, or WOEIH, I gave members of those groups direct ultimatums. I'll be totally forthcoming and honest, folks, and it's still not censorship. If you think it's censorship, you have your head up your ass. You have people put your name, your legal name, on a group and then start saying all kinds of fucking things that you completely, utterly disagree with that have nothing to do with your philosophy and saying that it's your philosophy. Okay? Yeah, I'm sorry. My producer is just telling me I didn't even give the date. This is how back and forth I am today. Okay? I'm going to be on Laura Eisenhower and David Rodriguez's show, Dark to Light, this Wednesday evening at, I believe it is 9 to 11 p.m. East Coast time. They broadcast live on YouTube and Facebook. If you are, check out Laura Eisenhower's Facebook. She usually will post a notice about when they're going live, and it also streams live there. And then I believe there is a Dark to Light YouTube channel, or you could look up Laura Eisenhower on YouTube. I apologize. I should have had this information ready and handy. I did not do it in my slides, so I apologize for that, but I wanted to make sure I get the word out to people. I'll post it on my own social media as well. So do check out Laura Eisenhower and David Rodriguez, Dark to Light. Okay. So Destry said, yes, I see the problem. You're exactly correct. We have trolls and disinfo agents in the group. I don't know what to do about it. Do you? I said, yes, actually I do, because I dealt with this problem with groups with my name on it or my website name on it. And I reached out to those people and we worked out a method of cleaning it up. We did this through asking introductory questions to get into the group moderation, meaning that administrators would have to approve the post to make sure it has to do with the content of the group. And folks, this is because there's a goal for the group. If you want to have a Facebook free-for-all group, be my guest and go for it. I'm not telling anybody not to go exercise your free speech on Facebook on your own wall, or make a group that you're the admin of and make it a free-for-all. But if you're going to have a goal of, we're going to try to teach the truth about something that has a truth about it, like natural law and anarchy, then you should set some basic guidelines and rules for the group. And yes, there's nothing immoral about doing that. It's saying, I started my webinar, right? Okay. So my webinar is about how to become the true media. So I'm talking about technological methods of really working with technology the right way. Do you think we're not working with technology in a serious way, folks? We're broadcasting simultaneously on 5 platforms right now. We're live on, by the way, fuck you, Vimeo, by the way. Vimeo, listen to me, you dirty fucking Nazi scumbags. Fuck you. You're going to have to look your children in the eyes, all you dirty Nazi fucking pieces of trash at Vimeo and YouTube and Google and Facebook and Twitter, all you dirty Nazi fucking rat trash. You're Nazi and communist trash. Okay? And you're going to have to look your fucking children in the eye when they're enslaved, totally enslaved in the future. They're going to ask you, you rat fucks, you rat Nazi trash, what were you doing while the world was being enslaved? And you're going to say, I was actually helping to enslave it by taking down people's fucking posts on their own platforms. You're not doing moderation. You're lying to fucking people. You're the real censors. Big tech are the real censors. Not what we're trying to put out a group. Destry's trying to put out a group to teach people natural law and keep it in focus. To to take articles down, posts down that are saying natural laws about we have dominion over the animal kingdom, natural laws about the survival of the most ruthless. Yeah. Flat earth posts, etc., all of it. You know? Totally off topic shit. Shit posting. There's a name for it, folks. There's a name for it. It's called shit posting. Okay? You got the trolls flooding the gates. You got total fucking little babies coming in and shit posting. Okay? First of all, this is why I just think it's generally a bad idea and it creates nothing but more work. I honestly don't think Facebook is the platform for spreading the truth. I think you should learn how to make your own websites and you should speak your truth on audio, video, and articles and take comments the fuck off because comments are noise added to the signal. Let other people go and say what they want on their own platforms. I am a fan of the strategy of atomizing people, not bringing them all together in one place on the web. Everybody have your own area. Look, I wish I could turn my Facebook comments off and Twitter comments off. If I could, I'd turn them all off. And all my page would be is a blog that I could tell people who are friends with me, here's what I'm doing. And here's what other people who I think are doing valuable work are doing. And that's it. I would turn off all commenting if I were in control of that on Facebook. But in their infinite wisdom, they say you're not allowed to do that. Because they want the infighting. Social media is not bringing about people together. It's about adding noise to the signal and creating infighting. This is why I don't make a lot of posts there. This is why I focus on my work, what I'm doing. And again, you could call this is still part of the show. Social media outreach, whether it be individual or group outreach. In all honesty, you're not really helping. And I don't care who is one of my friends that does it this way. I don't give a fuck. Get as offended as you like. You don't have other technological skills, so you fall back into the shit. This is the quagmire. This is the fucking dross. It's the shit area. It's the ghetto. It's the ghetto. Okay? That's what it is. And get as fucking offended about it as you like. Facebook is a trash area of the internet. It's trash. All the dross, vermin, and immoral fucking scumbags gather on Facebook and Twitter. Most of the trash human beings of the world are in these social media outlets. You're not going to really reach many people there. You have to have your own platform. I don't know how many times I've said this. It's called put the fucking phone and tablet down. Get on a computer and start learning how to use real technology on a computer. They took the computer out of people's hands and put it into their consciousness. All you need is this fucking slab. The fucking bullshit phone slab that you can't get any real work done. Or the tablet where you can't get any real work done. They're not creative computing devices. It's shitware. It's shit hardware for consumption. Typing into Facebook is not going to accomplish the great work. I'm sorry. That's the truth of the matter. You ask anybody, were you converted via Facebook? Put your own videos up on YouTube. I don't even care if you use that as your video sharing platform. Mirror them on BitChute. Mirror them on Library. But if you think you're converting hearts and minds on Facebook, you guys are lost. Lost in your head. Facebook is a quagmire shit post storm. That's all it is. To pit people against each other and lose the message in the total fucking trash that gets thrown around like the vomit out of the vomit puppet's mouth. Whoever made the fucking vomit puppet compilation, brilliant work. I pissed myself watching it. Okay? If people don't know what that means, type vomit puppet compilation into YouTube and you'll get it. Okay? Somebody strung together all the segments I did with the vomit puppet from American, what is it? Team America. Anyway, we had a meeting that other people were not privy to about agreeing to do this. So I said, we're going to have another meeting where I'm going to bring some people in that'll help you. And that was Scott and Will, who have done a very good job moderating and admitting in other groups that had my name on it. I gave Destry no ultimatum. I said, if you want our help, we'll give it to you. But I did say, if you continue to just let it run totally unchecked, I'll have to publicly state that I distance myself from anything in this group and that they are posting a lot of disinformation. I would have to do that publicly with group. So I'll continue to do that. If I find another group that's posting blatant disinformation about anarchy, about morality, about natural law, I'll go public here and on my own social media and say, I disavow anything in these groups. Because folks, let's put it this way. Of course, I didn't invent natural law. Natural law are inherent laws of the universe. But guess what, folks? I'm not ashamed to say, and I will not engage in false humility. And it is not hubris for me to say I am the person in the modern world who has brought natural law to public prominence, more so than any other teacher in the world. That happens to be true. Happens to be true. Manly P. Hall did a very great amount of work regarding that. I think Richard Wetherill did a tremendous amount of work regarding that, but I don't think anybody has done it to the extent that I have in the modern world. In the modern day, let's say the 21st century, certainly no one more so than me. And look, you want to say that's a statement of hubris or ego? I don't give a fuck. That happens to be the truth. And it's not an egotistical statement. I'm saying that simply as a matter of fact. A matter of course. When you ask people who they learned about what natural law is from, invariably the words Mark Passio are going to leave their mouth next. There will be some others with some exceptions, but guess what? In the modern day, you're going to hear the words, you're going to hear the name Mark Passio come out of their mouth when you ask people who did they learn about natural law from. And no, we don't need another term, okay? You could call it moral law. You can call it spiritual law. It's also natural law. We don't need another term. We need people to understand what the word natural and the word law means. Okay? We don't need another term for anarchy. Okay? Volunteerism, volunteerism, consensualism. It's been called a million different things. It's called anarchy. The actual definition is very clear to any dictionary that is going to tell the truth, not lie about it. It's not a state of disorder or lawlessness. It means no rulers, no masters. Therefore, it means the state of freedom and allowing someone's rights to be exercised unrestrained. However, having a total free-for-all in a Facebook group is not a representation of anarchy. That is a representation of chaos and total lawlessness. It means that there is no decorum in the group. It means you are saying, post whatever you want, no matter how untrue it is, with no moderation. This is the problem with social media. It allows for that to a large extent. And then when most people see it, they go, all of these fucking idiots, I'm not going to be the person to try to get involved and correct all of this nonsense. I know, because I've seen it, folks. And guess what? That's largely been my take. I'm too busy. I'm too busy preparing shows, trying to do, presentations and live shows and work on creating a network of other people who are actually reaching out and teaching people. That's what I'm working on. That's why I haven't had a lot of original presentations and I'm doing calls, because I'm working in the background to try to do several different things that people don't see on the air. And I'm extremely busy every day with this work. The One Great Work Network is coming soon, folks, and we are going to blow you away with it. You're not even going to believe what we're going to have in store. And it's going to be free. Okay? Let's put it that way. We're going to have, I'm going to tell people a little bit about how this model is going to work. We're going to have a subscription, but it's just a voluntary subscription. We're going to do it in an anarchic fashion. If you want to subscribe, we'll have a subscribe button. You'll be able to subscribe. If you don't, you could still get all the content. How about that model? How many people are doing anything like that? Okay? So, the One Great Work Network is coming. Be patient. It's going to be here, I'm going to say, certainly before the end of the year. All right? So, we had a meeting with Destry, Scott, and Will, the guests that I wanted to have. And look, I don't even want to group, I'm not going to even group Will in. Will basically you had your act together. Okay? I'll say that about Will. Not to even put the other people on blast or try to embarrass them, but like we, as a people, as a society, folks, we have to start learning how communications technology works, people. This is embarrassing. Do you ever wonder why we're having our asses kicked? Why so many fucking people are brainless zombies and we're getting our asses kicked? This is why. This is the reason. We can't even get our technological act together enough to say, I'll have my act together and I'll be able to go live with my voice and video on a show, on an internet broadcast. Could you imagine? It's not good enough, folks. It's not good enough. Man, I don't even want to be this hard, folks. If you think I want to do this, and this is the other thing, you think I want to do this shit at all. I haven't wanted to do this since I started. I haven't wanted to do this shit since I started doing it. I'm bitter. I'm a bitter man. In case you can't tell. I want my life to live in freedom for myself. Quite frankly. That's what I want for all of you. I'm very, very bitter that this work is just smashed upon my shoulders. And then other people go, oh, Mark, I'm so glad you're doing this. Fuck you! You're the problem! Yeah, more coffee is just what I need. Damn, this is good coffee.
Watch your blood sugar.
Yeah. Will, Scott, and others helped us to very nicely reorganize some of the other Facebook groups out there talking about these topics. And I thank them for it. And they did it in a way that was very well done and acceptable. Okay? They weren't super heavy-handed, just saying, oh, you're banned, you're banned, you're banned. No. They gave people multiple chances to prove that they were not a troll, a disinformation agent, or just a shit stirrer and a shit poster. They gave them a chance to, stay in the group but mute them. So this way they can't post, but they can watch and learn. This is the approach we were going to take in this other group. I'm not even going to put any names of groups out there, folks. You stumble across them, you stumble across them. Okay? I'm not going to promote anything because, quite frankly, in a way, I don't even believe in Facebook promotion and groups. You have my own social media I very rarely talk about. If you hit it, you go on my page. I have a little social media section. Hit it or don't. I think social media is shit. It's shit. Pure shit. Okay? I don't know how much more plain I could be about, what Facebook is? Fucktarded people who don't know technology. They all gather in the shit area, in the big fucking bin of fucking dog shit. And I should apologize to all the canines out there. I just don't even have a better word. Actually, there is a better word. It's called dross. It's the dross dump. Okay? That's a great word. It sounds just as shitty as it sounds it is. The dross dump. Maybe we ought to do a show. Welcome to the dross dump. Because that's what it is. That's what Facebook is. That's what Twitter is. Okay? It's the dross dump. All right? And that's who's there. That's who's there. People who don't know how to create their own media on the internet. Get your fucking own domain. Post your own content on your own domain. If you don't know how to do that, you should, by now, know how to do that. Everybody. There is no excuse for not being able to get a domain, point it to a WordPress or a fucking blogger site. No excuse. It's free. Get a free WordPress site. Get a free Google Blogger site. Use their technology against them. It takes 5 fucking minutes. Go buy a domain. Anywhere. Any fucking registrar in the world. Type in web registrars. Go buy a domain for $15 fucking a year. And point it. Point to name servers. to Google Blogger or to fucking WordPress. How hard is that? They give you the instructions. You could read about it in 10 fucking minutes. It takes 10 fucking minutes. The other thing I got to start showing people to do on the air is really how to search the internet effectively, because that's the other thing. You guys don't know how to even search the internet, let alone publish on it. We're so ass backwards. This movement is so disorganized and non-knowledgeable. And folks, I said it last week when I was with the Satanists, they were competent, driven people, and that's why they're beating you. They're beating me too because you're on my team. I have a team of inepts. I have a team of incompetanos. You're inept incompetence. And your efforts aren't good enough. Your efforts aren't good enough. You're inept. You're non-knowledgeable. You're ignorant and you're incompetent. Almost all of you. This is why I generously started How to Become the True Media. To mentor people. Because that's what I realized. People are so incompetent, they need mentoring. They really need to be taken by the hand and guided step by step on how to do anything. They have no life skills. And folks, look, you know what? Yeah, I mean, autonomy is a lot more calm. You know, there's researchers out there like Derek Brose and, you know, Max Egan. You know, they're more... they're chill and calm about it. They have, you know, they're not as at their end of their rope when it comes to fucking being angry and just completely bitter. I'm this bitter for having given up this much of my life to people who I feel are beneath me. And that's how I feel. I'm not going to lie. I'll be honest. I feel like you're beneath me. You know who I never felt like they were beneath me? The Satanists that I worked with who own and control the world. I never for a moment looked down at them and felt that they were beneath me. Never. I looked up to them. I learned from them. They were like my mentors in evil. I felt like if I had a question I could ask. I can't ask hardly anybody a fucking question. When I have a problem and I can't solve something or figure it out, I got nobody to go to because I'm at the top of the food chain of knowledge in my sphere of influence. And you know how sad and lonely that is? Pathetically sad and horribly lonely. And you guys don't know what it feels like because when you have a problem, you ask somebody and they know how to fucking fix it if they have any common sense. Then everybody starts taking advantage of you like you're their personal fucking valet when it comes to fixing everything. Because they're incompetent. Thank you, Josh. Good smoothie. Telling you. I gotta take it slow, take it easy. I'm gonna hurt my physiology, and I know it. I know it, and I still fall into the pattern of really going nuts. And guess what? It's very justified still. It doesn't mean that it's not going to harm my personal health, which I don't want it to, because I'm telling you, folks, I'm at my wit's end with dealing with human beings and their stupidity. I'm at my wit's end. I cannot toughen myself up anymore to deal with it. It affects me. You know, I'm going to, on the One Great Work Network, I'm going to have a camera on me all day one day. I'm going to show you the entirety of one of my really busy days. And you're going to see what I do all day long, sometimes until 2 a.m. in the fucking morning or beyond. Non-stop work. There's no hours in this job. There's no days off. No hours and no days off. It's constant. Now, you guys have structured hours at your slave jobs and then, want to say, oh, I don't have time to do it. No, that's the fucking problem. that you have to painfully smash through and sacrifice. There is no easy answer to that. The answer is, yeah, you have to just sacrifice and do without. I don't understand why you can't understand that. So we met with Destry and gave him a lot of pointers. And folks, I was this angry in the meeting. I'll be honest with you. I was angrier. I was so mad I was screaming at the top of my lungs because of all the things I had just read in the group in the morning that just set me off on a foul fucking mood the whole day. Realizing that these trolls, these paid trolls, which is what they are, and that's what you fucking are. You're paid fucking trolls, the people out in these groups. You think I don't know who you are? I worked with your fucking bosses, you little fucking punk children. I worked with your fucking bosses. They told me all about how their operations work. They pay trolls to go on and fucking light these fucking areas up, light old forums up, IRC channels, fucking, Usenet groups back in the day. And now private public forums and fucking Facebook channels and Facebook groups and Twitter. They're paid to go on there and lie and stir up shit and add noise to the signal. If you don't think it works like that, you're a naive fucking punk bitch child. And you're fucking played and you're clowned. And you're wearing the big red floppy fucking clown shoes. So we said we can help you moderate that and clean up the group easily. We've done it with other groups. This isn't censorship, assholes. Anybody that thinks it is, it's because you take no personal responsibility for putting out any quality. You take no personal responsibility for putting out anything with any quality that actually teaches somebody. You think a free-for-all is the method, and you're wrong. You're incorrect. A free-for-all is not the method that teaches people. If I start opening up my webinar, I open it up at 7 p.m., and at 8 p.m. I give class instruction. Should I just let everybody talk all over each other who don't know what they're fucking talking about? Oh, wait a minute. I think this is the way that you point a domain with a name server. And then they open up Photoshop and they take a brush and they scribble it across this canvas in Photoshop and close the window and hit don't save. And they say, your domain just got pointed. For any technological people that know what I mean, imagine if that's what was happening, right? I likened it to if I was a French language instructor and somebody stands up in the middle of the class and starts speaking fluent German and then pushes me out of the way, away from the desk or the podium and starts teaching German and saying, this is the French language class. Should I just say, well, go right ahead. It's a free-for-all. Do whatever the fuck you want, right? That's going to get it done, right? That's going to get my goal done of teaching them French. That's going to get my goal done in the webinar of teaching people technology and publishing. Yeah. Here's how you build a web page. I open up a Word document, type a bunch of gibberish into it and hit save and save it on the desktop. And I built a web page. No, you scribbled a bunch of gibberish in a Word document and saved it on your desktop. You didn't publish a web page. Okay? There's a truth about these matters. There's a truth about how the French language is structured. There's a truth about how to publish to the internet. There's a truth about anarchy. There's a truth about natural law. And if the goal is the communication of that truth, a free-for-all will not accomplish the communication of that truth. You have to have competency in the group. And folks, this should be common sense. I shouldn't even have to do a show explaining this. You know? I should be teaching, esoteric occultism on this show instead of teaching people that if you have a free-for-all, you're not going to accomplish any goals. Yeah, hell, let's build a bridge over a river. We're going to have people who have no engineering skills, can't calculate any stress forces, don't know anything about materials or material science. Yeah, we'll just have them built with a bunch of bricks, slap a bunch of bricks on top of each other, and you'll have a perfectly stable fucking bridge. Yeah. But stopping people from doing that and actually building it the right way would be tyranny and censorship. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking silly fucking children. You're silly little children, and you don't matter. That's the real answer. You don't fucking matter. You think you matter, and you don't matter. Yeah. They're dross. Dross. Again. Vocabulary word from last week. Detritus. Debris. Unwanted material. Things that water things down. The chaff, not the wheat. Okay? Trash. That gets in the way. It's all material that gets in the way. That's all dross is. Oh, folks, I just want to say I've never even finished. Fuck Vimeo, you Nazi censors. Okay? You might as well extend that fuck you to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everybody. Google, Apple. Let's not leave anybody out. Okay? We're now broadcasting live on the Twitch platform. That's how fast I'll drop somebody's ass and stop paying them. Okay? You're not going to censor me and still get my money, fuckface. All right? You're dropped like a bad fucking habit. All right? And yet we have the service still broadcasting until around October, so we'll keep doing it, and then we'll be off that platform, and I'll just use the free services. But, imagine, I'm paying them like $1,500 a fucking year, and then they're going to censor me? Fuck you guys. You're not going to get any of my money or the money people donate for this freedom of speech broadcast. So we're going on Twitch from now on, which seems to be doing very well. And, we'll be able to do a lot of great stuff with this platform. It's largely a gaming platform, but people use it for talk shows and podcasts as well. So that's what I'm going to use it for. We'll go into every avenue. When BitChute starts doing live streaming, we'll go there. We will have every means of backup and every means of publishing available unto us. You will not stop me! You will not stop me! You're up against a will you don't understand, boy! It's driven by something beyond any of us. And that is the truth, that is morality, that is freedom, that is natural law, and that is the creator of the universe. And you are not that, and neither am I. And that is what is driving my word. And you will not stop it. You won't stop it if you destroy my body to dust and ash. You still won't stop it. Because I will immortalize my words by putting them on the net for all to hear. And this is the problem with other people. They are too chicken shit, lazy, and cowardly to learn how to do that. And guess what? You guys are the problem. Because the longer you keep waiting and waiting to speak, the more this evil is going to take this planet into places you can't even imagine. We're losing, and we're losing big time, and the time for this incompetency to stop is now. Get competent and get publishing. So let's go to... All right, that's all I want to say. We gave assistance to Destry to reel in the problems he was having on this group. There is no censorship. It's called if people are publishing nonsense and shit posting and totally contradicting natural law and anarchy, their posts are going to be either not allowed up or taken down because the group has a goal. It isn't censorship. It means go in your fucking area and spread disinformation, but you're not going to do it here. Just like I'm not going to... You think I'm going to open up What on Earth is Happening as a free public platform for fucking nonsense, fucking shit-spewing idiots to spew their fucking dross all over my page? And then say your opinion's just as valid of my learned experience in life and all my years of hard-won knowledge? No, it's not. Quite frankly, it's not just as valuable. Quite frankly, it's bullshit. And there's a lot of bullshit on a lot of Facebook pages that say they have anything to do with anarchy and natural law. And if it's within my power, I'm not going to just let them shit all over all of my work that I sacrificed my fucking life to do. Not without a challenge. You'll be challenged. Trust me, you'll be challenged. You want to say that's censorship? Go the fuck ahead and say it. I don't really give a fuck what you say. And you got a further problem with that. See me in person. And then talk about how weak my veganism makes me. You'll see. People want to death threat me. Oh man, dude. I don't take kindly to fucking, shit talking. All I have to say is just fucking try it. We'll both meet the Creator that day. And we'll see who's more prepared. That's all I have to say. We'll go together. Because nobody's going to fucking attack me with impunity, physically. Big shit talkers want to talk shit behind the keyboard. Try something in person. You won't be happy with the fucking result. And I'm not shit talking. Again, that's not a fucking promise. That's not a guarantee. It's a spoiler. It's what will occur. Because I know my rights and I'll defend them to the death. So we're helping reel in this group, and there is no censorship. It's called group moderation to try to stay on point with the goals of the group. That's what it is, and nobody's going to tell me that it's anything other than that, because that's exactly what it is. And if you think it's otherwise, I don't even give a fuck about your bullshit opinion. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what transpired. You don't know what went on, and you don't know what the goal of the fucking group was from the group administrator who asked for my help. So fuck you, all of you who think otherwise. I just told the truth of the matter on the air and actually spent too much fucking time doing it. Let's see what things I need to repeat on the air today. Mark, I hope you're well. I wanted to ask, what are your spiritual practices to keep center and balanced? Well, apparently not much, ladies and gentlemen, because you can see how very well balanced and centered I am these days, The answer is, I try to eat right, get as much decent exercise as I can when I can, which I don't even do enough of these days. I keep my diet pretty tight. I try to eat fruits, vegetables, juice, smoothies, things like that. I supplement with a lot of supplements. I mean, I couldn't even go through my supplement list. You'll be amazed at the supplementation. I should take a picture. I have 3 supplement shelves in my kitchen. I should just take a picture of my supplements, and that's only some of them. Okay? I do a little bit of meditation daily, not much. And I do concentration and contemplation. I focus deeply in like a laser beam on my work, and I contemplate and daydream when I take a break and at night. Those are my practices. They're very real world and very grounded. I don't do a lot of psychedelic work, although maybe I should, go into a new psychedelic experience at some point. But I use that rarely. But I do some of that. And, it's very, very practical, real world, grounded application. But guess what, folks? I'm not a machine. I'm not emotionless. I'm not a robot. Other people's low consciousness does affect me because it affects my rights. It affects the rights of people I care about. I care about truth and freedom. And when they're being destroyed and demolished because of moral relativism and fucking people buying into nonsense brainwashing, it affects me. And it should affect you. People who can't get angry, you have something broken in your soul. If you can't get angry and you say nobody should get angry and there's no purpose or there's no reason for anger, you're broken. There's something wrong with you. You have something wrong in your soul. A part of your soul has been cut out of you. You should be getting angry at what's going on. It's the proper response. It is not the proper response to be totally cold, disconnected, never get angry, be even keeled all the time. That means your soul is broken. You're broken at a soul level because you can't really care enough for anything to anger you. If you're broken in the heart, that's where care comes from. You'll never get angry enough. You'll never care enough to get angry. And then you'll certainly never care enough to actually act. And this is where most of you guys are actually at. You, my viewing, listening audience. You, yes, you. Yes, you. I'm not just talking to the fucking ignorati out there. You are the problem. So, honestly, to this person asking this question, I think that's much less important than taking action. That's my real answer. My real answer is worry less right now about staying totally centered and even keeled, right? Get angry, get active, and wage war on the enemy. The liars and deceivers and disinfo agents of our world. The mainstream media, the Satanists, the dark Luciferians. They're winning! They're winning! Do you get it? Do you get it? They are winning. We are losing. Truth is losing. Freedom is losing. Because you're not doing anything. And most people are more worried about don't I get angry or stay balanced spiritually. Don't worry about that now. We're at war. The time for all of that is honestly behind us. Now is the time to get fucking angry and do something. You should have worried about that a long time ago when you had, that was a thing that you could have the time and energy to focus on. We're way beyond this point. Way beyond it. If you can't tell, we're in the last fucking moments, and this is the critical moment of choice that my intro talks about. This is it. We're in it. It's not coming anymore. It's here. This is it. Do you get it? Put your voice out there for others. There's not enough of us teaching this. I'm going to take a bunch of emails. The essay you read from the former cop answered a lot of questions for me regarding order followers. Great. He ended the essay by giving good advice, never talk to cops. My question is, if we're never supposed to talk to cops, how are we supposed to reply to them if they start talking to us? And the answer is, don't, unless it's a private conversation. If they're in a uniform and they're on duty, stay completely silent is the answer. That's what he is actually saying. Physically stay silent. Literally. Literally don't make any mouth tones. Literally don't move your lips. Keep your lips closed and don't make a sound. Literally. That's what the person in that essay meant. Like this. Don't speak. Literally. Okay? It doesn't mean don't ever talk to off-duty police officers to try to get them out of their cult. You know, that's the time we need to be talking to these people, when they're not on duty, when they're not in the cult, actively. You know, and tell them how immoral they are and how immoral their institution that they belong to as a gang member is. So please understand what, focus in here, folks. This isn't hard stuff to get, to understand that's what is meant. All right? A lot of people just don't hear what's being said, or they can't extrapolate it unless you have to go into such putrid detail. It's such a chore in language because people don't have thinking skills developed, that they can't get the basics of what you're saying without you going into unimaginable detail. Try to get the spirit of the message is my ultimate answer. Folks, we gotta grow up and emotionally mature and mentally mature. I never had to explain myself to such an extent when I was with these Satanists. They understood what you meant. They would often just stop. I get what you're saying. They didn't need further explanation and refinement of language and clarity. This is how brain broken most of us are. We're broken at a thinking level that we really cannot think and extrapolate meaning. We need somebody to clarify and clarify. That's part of what this whole show is about, these past few shows. I might do a few more shows of just clarifying what I mean. Because people after 230 fucking episodes still can't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. And you know what? It's easy for you fucks to say, don't get angry about it, Mark. You haven't been doing what I'm doing. And that's the fucking problem. That you haven't been doing it. Like I said, I'll do my show my way. You do your fucking work your fucking way. I'll do what I want here on What on Earth is Happening. And if I want to burn it to the fucking ground, I'll burn it to the fucking ground. Tired of being lectured at, told on my broadcast when I've been doing this fucking work for the amount of years I've been doing it for, being told how to do it. Fuck you. Fuck you. You. My viewership. I'll tell you that. Fucking don't send another fucking dime. Don't go to the fucking store. Shut the fucking broadcast off. Unsubscribe from YouTube. Unsubscribe from Patreon. Fuck you all. How's that for burning it to the ground? We're a shit show. We're a shit show. That's what it is. That's what the freedom movement is. That's what the anarchy movement is. That's what the effort to teach natural law is. It's a big fucking shit show, and the Satanists are winning and basically have won. Because you guys didn't do your fucking job. You had 15 fucking years to get this together, and you blew it. You blew it, and there's no time left, and it's probably a hopeless cause. I'll continue to do the great work I'm doing because I'm doing it fucking awesomely. Awesomely. Okay? The effort I've made here is nothing beyond miraculous. And there's no excuse if I could do that why anybody couldn't do it. You could do it in a slightly less advanced way, but you could do it. And you could get to this point probably in a few years at this rate, with how technology is going down in price and it's getting easier to learn and use. In the last episode, you said you have done ritual magic to some success and could talk about that. Okay, I'll talk about it. Me and my friend Fernando, who worked with Truth, Freedom, Prosperity, he was actually the creator. Not Truth, Freedom, Prosperity. We worked with Truth, Freedom, Prosperity, but he was the creator of Philadelphia Survive and Thrive, a survivalist Skillshare group that was on meetup.com years ago. I was kind of like, his helper with the group. I particularly helped with the digital aspects of it, anything computer related, posted files to the file section of the meetup group, etc. We had a mutual friend who was also a Satanist, who actually corroborates my message and what I was involved in years ago. Maybe I'll link to that and let people hear. Fernando was on my broadcast. You can go back in my archives and hear about water purification. He's in that business, or at least was. I don't know if he still is. We had a mutual friend named Jerry, who was a Satanist at the time that I was involved in the Church of Satan. He was not an active member of the Church of Satan, although he supported LaVeyan Satanism. And he was very deep into Satanism in general, the whole ideology, Luciferianism, Satanism, etc. I fell out of touch with Jerry for personal reasons and did not know what became of him. Me and Fernando realized that we were mutual friends when I brought him up one day. I did not know that Fernando knew him. We decided that we would try to figure out what happened to Jerry, but we didn't know how. Who would we get in touch with? We don't know any of his friends. He had moved. I believe he used to live in South Philadelphia, not too far from me. To my knowledge, he no longer lives there. We could have asked a couple of friends if they knew where he went, anybody who knew him, but we really had no way of getting in touch with him or figuring out what happened to him. So we said, have we ever tried to use a thought experiment, as Fernando called it, to try to bring about a result? I called this ritual magic. We turned off all technology in the room. including the lights, turned our cell phones off, turned all digital devices off, sat there for a half an hour, totally unilaterally focused on, we are going to find out what happened to our mutual friend Jerry. We don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And we are going to sit there focused on, with pure intent, it will occur. It will occur, period. We don't know how. The universe is going to provide this. We have no idea how it's going to occur, but it will occur. I think we should try to do that, because I think, honestly, nothing but a miracle is going to take us out of this slavery that we are in. Maybe we should do a thought experiment. People will wake up. We don't know how it's going to happen, but they will wake up. They will start to question government. They still will start to question mainstream media. We sat there for only one half an hour with the two of us, no one else in the room. That's it, 30 minutes exactly. After the 30 minutes expired, we stopped talking about it entirely and moved on to different topics. Turned the lights back up, turned the digital devices back on, and put no other interaction out about it. Just focused the intent and said, it will occur, and we trust the universe will make it happen. The end. Gave no further energy to it after that point. 3 weeks later, I got an email about former Satanists who are now doing something different with their lives after realizing Satanism is actually a very dangerous ideological pathway to go down. And it is the ideology of the rulers of the world. There was a link in which Jerry was not mentioned in this email at all. Okay? There was a link to go to a blog site that was talking about different people who had formerly been involved in Satanism, and the person was listening to my show and thought I might find this article of interest, did not know anything about Jerry or Fernando or our thought experiment or ritual magic, whatever you want to call it. I clicked the link that says, read about former Satanists, what they're doing now. Blog site comes up. I start reading about all these different Satanists, and I keep scrolling, and then all of a sudden, there's an article about my friend Jerry. 3 weeks later, after this thought experiment. He had gotten involved in Christian ministry. He went down the path of religion, which, you know what? I understand that happens with people that get so frightened in Satanism. And believe me, they realized what they were involved in. He'll tell you exactly what it is. You listen to his interviews now. He's done many, many interviews about it. I might want to try to have him on the show. I don't know if he'll interact with me, speak with me. I don't know what his feelings are toward me now. We'll see. But I'd like to invite him on the show, catch up a little bit, maybe, talk about what got him out. I'll tell him what got me out. I know that Jerry now, kind of preaches Christianity, and he sees it through the Christian perspective or the Christian lens. Okay? I'm not going to, be attacking or bitter about that. Plenty of people see it through that lens. I consider myself friends with Fritz Springmeier, who sees it through that lens. There are many people who go down the religious pathway when it comes to this because they do realize Satanists control this planet. So, that's an example of a piece of ritual magic that was successful. So I do know that it does work, if you want to call it that. But there are ways of directing energy, and that's what these Satanists know. And they're doing this. They call it the Mastermind experiment, or the Mastermind operation, whatever you want to call it. Okay? It means you're putting mental focus toward one direction. They add the action component and then say, we're going to make it happen, in addition to that focused intent and energetic component. Then they add their physical will to it. And that's why they're winning. They do that, they care about getting it done, and then they get it done. We, on the other hand, we can't even agree on what morality is, or what a right is, or that others' lives don't belong to us to take. And we're still thinking plants and animals are the same thing. I could put a newborn baby image on this side and a picture of a seedling plant on this side. It's the same thing. Chopping that baby's head off and grinding its body up in a meat grinder would be the same thing as plucking that little seedling out of the ground. Fucking retards. Most people out in the world are such fucking retards, man. It's embarrassing that I'm the same fucking species as most of these people. But guess what? I never felt that way for a moment when I was in Satanism. Never for a moment, not one millisecond. I felt these people are as intelligent, as driven, as strong in willpower and understanding as I am, if not beyond. And many of them were beyond my capabilities. And that's why they're beating us to a merciless fucking pulp. And you guys want to whimper about, Passio, I'm so angry. You're fucking children, all of you. Almost all of you. You're children who are doing nothing, and you're worried about how harsh the sound of my voice comes down on your delicate little fucking baby ears. Instead of that Satanists are taking your lives away. You're not worried about that. You're worried about what I sound like for telling you that, you fucking imbeciles. So that's what I say. Let's burn it all to the fucking ground. Let me just totally fucking irritate, agitate, and fucking, instigate and insult my own audience. Because what are you doing anyway? You're miserable fucking failures, almost all of you. Almost all of you, with the exception of like a fucking handful. You're miserable fucking failure, know-nothings, who have done nothing to stop the advance of tyranny on Earth. When that's all I have implored you and begged you to do practically since day one. You're miserable fucking failures. And I don't care if you never watch a fucking thing I do ever again. Let's get that clear. Do you understand? Government is now talking about leaving out the gender from our ID cards here in the Netherlands and on our passports. Is that mind control, and what will it mean to us? I think androgyny has always been one of the goals of Satanism, because the less individuation a society has, the less the idea of individuality remains prevalent in the minds of people. And they want to wipe out all individuality and make people as same and as non-individual as possible. That is why they have to water down the genders and bring in androgyny. So absolutely, that's a form of mind control. That is epi-eugenics, or what I call epidysgenics. And no, folks, it's not transgender hatred. I have transgender friends. Has nothing to do with that. Androgyny is removing the distinction between the sexes to the degree that they are able. And that makes everybody same. Non-uniqueness. Not all conformity. And this, I showed people the documents in the Whitehall Church of Satan, which is one of the groups that pushes the androgyny method. They have different methods that they push out there and throw things against the wall and see what sticks. And it does seem like androgyny is one of the things that they want to float out there to the public and see how many people bite. And believe me, man, they're putting it out there with hormones. That's another thing. Hormones, gender bender, chemicals of all kinds in the food, water, and air. So, yes, that is one of their methodologies. Could you explain why the year 2020 is so important to dark occultists? Are there any connections to the planet parade or the way other planets are aligned? I guess he means the movement of the planets. I'm not too really big into astrology personally. I've always said it's my weakest occult science. However, 2020 has to do with vision, right? Human vision, if it's perfect, is 2020. They are hitting this year really hard because they don't want our vision coming forward and us to be able to see. And that's what this is about. This whole year is about vision. Are we seeing more clearly, or are we seeing more blurred? Most people are seeing far more blurred than they ever have. Even people who they thought they had it figured out and understood. Your vision is blurred. You're not seeing clearly. You didn't go deeply enough to drink of the waters of the Pierian spring. You had a half a gulp and you put it down and you said, that's all. That's enough for me. No, it wasn't enough for you. Your vision is very blurry. You know? The guy who came up with the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, the scientist Heisenberg, said the first gulp from the glass of science will leave you an atheist. But at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you. You know, think about it. Heisenberg, who's considered the father of modern quantum mechanics, said the first gulp from the glass of the natural sciences will make you an atheist. But at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you. Because he started to understand how deep real science goes, and it connects in with what we have called the occult, which is the real understanding of the natural sciences and natural law. That's why they can hold back how a virus really works from the public, and it's not really what we are calling or thinking of as a virus. That is why they can hold back the understanding of the physics on 9/11 from the average dumb fucking idiot in the public, because they don't know how science really works. Most people do not know the scientific methodology and couldn't tell you one part of it. They're worshipers at the altar of scientism. So 2020 is all about vision. 2020 is perfect vision. That's what the occultists want, and they want clouded vision for everyone else. And they're getting it. They're getting it. So that's the real occult significance. It's about vision. The word occult comes from the Latin oculus, meaning eye, vision. Occultare means to hide, to cover the eyes so as to hide, so not to be able to see, to keep it secret from our vision. It's all about the occult. Let's move on. Next email. And folks, if you're going to email, I'd appreciate just getting right to a question or ask clarification immediately. Some of these are really long. I'm trying to get to the question. Big rise in psychedelic research and, research chemicals. Okay. It's become popular with people, especially those in the New Age and neo-pagan movements. One of his friends said he believed by taking psychedelics the world could be healed. And folks, just as a matter of course, things that I've talked about and repeated time and time again here on What on Earth is Happening, psychedelics are tools and not anything else. They are not panaceas or cure-alls. Okay? They are not panaceas. They are not cure-alls for everything that ails human beings. They will help us see at a little bit higher of a level of perspective. Then they will drop us right back down to where we were and say, now extrapolate and pull that information down into the level that you need to work with it at on the ground floor. Okay? So you can't use these things as a crutch or as a party mechanism. All right? This is something that you need the proper set and setting, meaning the proper physical set and the proper mindset, first of all, and then the proper physical setting. Sorry, I bumped my mic. The proper physical setting in your environment so that you can go inward and this can show you what it needs to show you. You want to use them as party, escapism, fly-by-night bullshit usage. You're going to get bit and burnt. I've seen it happen. I've seen people treat psychedelics really flaunting, I've seen people, mix things that they definitely shouldn't be mixing. That is a disrespect to the actual consciousness of what they're actually communing with. Some of these things don't like to be mixed with other things. They consider that disrespectful. And I say they because it's a consciousness at some level. It's a plant consciousness, a planet consciousness. You're communing with part of the consciousness of Earth. That's what these psychedelics come from. They grow from the Earth. They are part of the spirit of the Earth. Most people will never understand it, and they'll use them wrong, So, and hey, that's their learning journey. They won't listen to the voice of wisdom who's trying to explain their tools, and they can help. But if you treat them with respect, they'll treat you with respect. If you treat them with disrespect, you're going to get clocked. Clocked. Okay? And I've seen it, but, when people think it's some kind of a joke, it's not a joke. They've clocked me in the past, and then when I learned the lesson that I needed to learn, then they treated me almost like an equal, or like somebody that they had some respect for, let's say. They could be very harsh teachers. Tried to get some friends into natural law. They went off on their own, started to get in these big-time self-help gurus. You know, he talks about Jordan Peterson, Agenda 21, etc. There's a lot of people who have halfway knowledge and understanding. There's a lot of bullshit New Agers who teach bullshit spirituality. This is where discernment is called for. And a lot of people who are looking for answers think they're just going to find them externally, and they're going to find them in the form of a person. Folks, I'm not to be put up on a pedestal, and I say it over and over and over and over again. That being said, I'm not going to tell you that I don't know something when I know it factually, and I'm correct. That doesn't mean I know everything. There's a whole lot of stuff I don't know, and if I don't know, I'll just tell you I know nothing about that. Like, you know, people are asking me about planetary alignments and influences. I'm not the person to ask about that. I don't know a whole lot about it. You'd have to consult with somebody that considers themselves someone who has worked a lot with the astrology and astrotheology. I know astrotheology, but astrology, plain and simple, I have not worked with much. Not very deeply anyway. I just had my chart read yesterday, actually, again. And immediately, I'm not even going to, give any personal details, but immediately person goes, clearly right off the bat, you're put here to be a spiritual teacher. And I told them nothing but my date of birth, what time I was born, and the city I was born in. That's it. You were put here to be a spiritual teacher. Imagine that. Instantly. So, there's some level of understanding of this, and the people certainly have clear understanding of it. I gave my chart to another individual, a woman in the past, said, your communication skills are your strong point. You are here to communicate with a lot of people in the world. Didn't really know what I did. So how's that happen when you give people 3 pieces of information? Or 4. Your name, your place of birth, your date of birth, and your time of birth. That's it. 4 pieces of info. And then they come back telling you things that are 100% true about you. And hey, you could say, hey, they look you up. I was in person with this person. They didn't go on their phone or on a laptop and look anybody up. They didn't have an earpiece in. I was in person with this woman when she did this chart reading. Yesterday, I was on the phone with a person who read my chart. But anyway, my point is, I tell you if I don't know. You ask me a question, I don't know. My answer is going to be, I don't fucking know. I'm not going to make something up just to pretend like I know. Well, when I know, I'm going to tell you I know, and this is the case, and it's true. I'm not going to, and then if it's my opinion, and it's not something that has objective knowledge about it, I'll tell you this is my opinion. So the answer is, emailer who emailed these questions, discernment is required. And don't look to external gurus. Certainly don't look to the New Age movement. A lot of them are bullshitters and tell people what they want to hear. Have you ever heard anybody in the New Age movement say to their own viewership things that I've said in this broadcast at the risk of alienating everybody that will listen to them? Why? They care about how many people are listening to them, how many supporters they have, how much money they make, and how much they're liked. I don't care about any of those things. I don't care if you hate me. I'm still going to tell the truth. No matter how ugly and harsh it is, even to you, I'm going to say what's true. Even if that has me here talking to myself, I'm still going to say what's true instead of what's popular. Do you get it? I'm not blowing multicolored rainbow smoke up your asshole just because I want you to like me and send me money. I don't give a fuck whether you like me or hate me. I'm going to say what's true. And what advances human freedom and destroys tyranny and slavery. Next question. So again, be very wary of people who talk in soft tones and say, "Oh, I want you to like me." So I'm never going to offend anybody. There's a meme going around, I'm going to bring it on next week's show. It says, people are so obsessed with speaking positively that they have lost all care about speaking what's true. They don't care at all about speaking what's true. All they care is about making it sound positive. It could be total bullshit, flowery bullshit. But I'm going to say it all positive and nice even if it's not, that doesn't really do any good or use or help to the world, because it sounds nice and people like me for saying it. But I won't tell them anything that's controversial or that offends them, even if it is true and they need to know it and they need to hear it. Get the fuck out of here with people like that. Throw them in the dross dump. Okay? There's the new tagline. In the dross dump you go. Next question. I'm taking a lot of email questions on the show today. What is the truth when it comes to property and ownership versus legal copyright law? Once again, I've talked about this on the show an innumerable amount of times. Property is legitimate. It is the rightful ownership of something. You didn't steal it from someone else. You are in possession of it. You are the rightful user of it. You are using it, and you are responsible for it. That's why this laptop is mine. I rightfully possess it. My information is in it. I control what information is in it, and I am responsible for its upkeep and maintenance. Same thing with anything that is my property, especially the body. Now, when it comes to putting things out publicly, okay, I think that copyright law is nonsense when you're making something public. If you don't want people to share it, don't make it public. If you put it out publicly, then it's there for other people to give to who they want, as far as I'm concerned. I don't believe in intellectual property. That being said, I also think it's very assholish if someone makes money on something that someone else created with no effort or additional value of their own. Now, that being said, if you take software that somebody else created and put online and it's free, open source software, and you add value to it and put it back out and you want money for it, I think you should be allowed to sell it. And I think you are allowed to sell that. That is a right. Okay? This is what the free software community does. You know, there's this guy who's the big advocate of free software, Richard Stallman. Thank you. Richard Stallman. But the guy doesn't understand the ownership of the body. He's still somebody who believes in government. How could you advocate? It's like vegans who think animals should be free, but we should have government. You understand animal body rights, but you don't understand human body rights. I'd love to bring Stallman on and ask him why he's not an anarchist. You know? I mean, this guy should know better. I love his attitude about free software. It's great. I don't use all free software. I use it when I can. Quite frankly, I think a lot of free software sucks balls. How about that? Right on the air. I think a lot of free software development belongs, ladies and gentlemen, say it all together with me, in the dross dump. Okay? That's where most free software belongs. There's some great free software out there. But, you know, a lot of the developers give a lot of the other developers a bad name. Okay? Just because something is free doesn't mean it's good. That's why I use a lot of proprietary software, because it's actually good, whereas the free software sucks balls and belongs in the dross dump. So Stallman, my man, I am all with you. I'm for the development of free open source software. I love it. I love the free software movement. I would consider myself an advocate of it, even a champion of it. However, the developers out there, you need to stop talking your game and act your game. Most of you suck. Quite frankly, you blow. You blow hardcore at what you do. You suck at it. Okay? That's the sad fact of the matter, guys. Sad fucking fact of the matter. Get as offended as you like. It's still a true statement. And everybody out there in the free software community that this will go and travel to, you're all nodding your head going, yeah, I know, we know, yeah. Because you do know. You just want to talk your shit game, but when it comes to actually delivering, that's why all the big tech companies got you beat. Because they pay people, that's the impetus. That is the actual motivational factor, is getting that paycheck, because that's all anybody gives a fuck about in this world. Not doing something right, not doing it competently, not doing it with drive and desire. No, you want to be paid. That's it. So most of the people who don't want payment for that largely suck at what you do. You don't have enough help in what you do. The big fucking teams and the big boys who are paying them get it fucking done, and that's why people buy their shit, and that's why most people ain't using your shit. Because it's shit. I want the free software community to do better. I don't talk about it enough or much. The other thing is, all you guys got to learn fucking what real anarchy and natural law is. Half of you are fucking left brain, fucking egg-headed, fucking left brain, fucking atheists who don't give a fuck about morality, and you want to talk about how software should be free, but somehow human beings should be fucking enslaved. You guys got your head up your fucking assholes. Almost all of you. Not a blanket statement, not every one of you, but I'd say 99% of you got your heads up your ass. You don't know anything about how the world really works. You think you do. You're still little fucking children voters that don't know how this fucking world works. Shitheads, eggheads. You know, I'm not telling you nice anymore. Go back to podcast number 1 and listen from number 1. Fuckface. All right, I'm done. I'm done. You know, like I said, my health is because of the stress and anger is not going to be in good shape. I may have to start doing the show every other week. Because quite frankly, it's just been an anger fest. And I don't even want that. I need to do something to take myself down a couple notches, but the pure stupidity and ignorance is so overwhelming to me I can barely take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. And folks, I'm telling you right now, I ain't going down quietly. I'm going out like a man, and I will not go quietly into the night and try to send somebody for me. That's all I have to say. Try it. Make me a martyr, motherfucker. Make me a martyr and take me out of this fucking hellhole that way. And watch what happens then. Go for it. Go for it. Go for fucking broke. Because you won't shut me up. I'll be back, and there'll be more with me. And you'll be martyring me. So go for it. I welcome it. So free and open software community, you largely suck at what you do. Although you have a good idea, you have a horrible implementation. And you're lazy developers, and most of you are bad developers, quite frankly. There's a few that aren't dross. There's a few who have their act together. And you guys are heavyweights, and you walk the fucking talk. And you know how much of a percentage it is? It's a little fucking sliver sitting on top of the rest of the people who are in the dross dump. Okay? Most of you got to get your act together just like this community does. And the other thing is get your head out of your left brain prison and understand that government is slavery. Yeah, vegans who understand animal rights don't understand human rights. Free software champions that understand software rights and don't understand human rights. You guys are a fucking joke. A fucking joke. How do we, the new media, the emerging natural law teachers, create a cohesive network to support and network together to help new initiates stay on the correct path in a dangerous time? Well, this is what the One Great Network, Is this the idea behind the One Great Network? Good question. Is this something someone like myself can help spearhead or facilitate? I mean, I'll do you one better. If you put out really great work, I'll invite you onto the network, and I may. I think I've seen some of this person's work. Not going to say his name right now. I think I may have seen some of this person's work, and maybe we could have you write some articles on the network or something. Look, again, I want to tell people what the One Great Network is. It is my network to try to highlight the people who are doing the one great work in this world, who I think are doing a good job. I am sending them a personal invite. This is a by invitation only network, okay? The public will not be posting, folks, okay? Do you understand? We will not be having a public forum or a public debate or public posting their dross. I am opening the network by invitation only to people in the world who I feel are doing the one great work well, to highlight and expand their work to my audience. That's it. That's what the One Great Work Network is. We are going to start out with probably at least about 10 hosts who are going to be people like myself who do this type of work and tell the truth in a public way and have put their work out publicly. I've already mentioned some of the people who are going to be on the One Great Work Network. You know, Max Egan, Jay Parker, Derek Brose, Lennon Honor. We have to make sure these people are still all in, okay? Because I floated this idea out to them about two or 3 years ago, and the network couldn't manifest because I didn't have the help I needed until I raged enough about it and got some fucking help. You know, I had to practically lose my shit on the air several times begging people for some fucking help for our own freedom. This is why the Satanists are laughing at us, folks. They're laughing because they know that's the kind of monumental Herculean effort it even took to get some fucking people to help. And it shouldn't be like that. We should have mountains of people willing to fucking try to combat tyranny and enslavement. But we don't. So, the answer to this person who is emailing is, when I see someone doing the great work well, I'm going to get in touch with them. I'm going to come and find them. They won't even have to come to me. I will come to them and invite them onto the network by invitation. By my personal invitation only is the only way anyone gets on the One Great Work Network. Let me say that again so everyone clearly understands. You don't need to submit anything to me. If you are doing the great work well, I will find you. I will come and invite you onto the network when your work has impressed me. That's the answer. And this is what I think. People can go and make their own networks like this if they want. You know, not only do the great work yourself, come up with your own networks. You know, to a certain extent, this is kind of what autonomy is like, except they do it with mentoring, teaching technology and life skills and business skills. And let me tell you something, folks, they conduct themselves professionally and they know their stuff. So, you know, what this is going to do is help these people who are doing this work get more resources, become more known, get more resources. Now, I'm going to invite Benny Wills onto the network. You know, there's many other people. I haven't even talked about the whole list. And again, these are just potentials. People have to still be on board and say, yes, I'm going to contribute content when the network is up and running. But we're developing it on the back end and it's going really well. Yeah, I mean, that, you know, that's the whole point is just what should you be doing to get your work highlighted is the question, you know? In other words, put the great work out there, and if it's good, I'm going to notice it and come, and other people are going to notice it, send me your way. A lot of people send me recommendations every week and go like, this person's doing good stuff, okay? So we're going to have original article writers. We're going to have people that do audio podcasts. We're going to people that do documentaries. We're going to have people that do comedy. We're going to have people that do artwork, who do weekly video podcasts. You know, we're going to open up our streaming to them. Okay? We're going to have a One Great Work 24-hour streaming channel that we're going to try to have content running all the time on. Folks, when you see it in operation, when we get all of our technological act together and get this out there right, you're going to be very impressed. Okay? So, you know, it's all about putting that info out there and your work will get noticed. All right, let's go to another one. I've watched your videos about order followers and the occult. Can you specify about the dark occultists that control the military behind the scenes and the politicians and how they work? I talked about this last week on the show and the week before that. How many terrorists do they actually kill when they go to war? These people do die. War People really die in war, folks. It's not a theater or stage. They want death. They want destabilization of countries. They want poverty, which is all what war creates. Okay? So they're playing both sides in most cases in war. These people control the politicians, they control the banks that often fund both sides, and they control the media that fuels the flames of war. Okay? That's what this establishment, these secret societies, these think tanks, whatever you want to call them, they own all the different infrastructures that drive war, namely the military, namely the media, the politicians. These people are the puppets of the occultists who are really calling the shots, and they work through the intelligence agencies and they work through the think tanks and advisory councils, like the Council on Foreign Relations, the Council for National Policy, the Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, the Royal Institute for International Affairs, Chatham House, Wellington House, etc., so forth. You know, the Rhodes Roundtable groups, etc. You can go on and on. Things that the media will never talk about and keep out of public light, and that the average fucking imbecile who thinks this is just conspiracy theory, so this is all debunked. All these people have no power. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, little boy. You don't know how the fucking world works, son. At all. At all. You're a child in a fantasy, dreaming, thinking that the world works the way you want it to work, just because you're uncomfortable with it working the way it really does. You're a little fucking child. And you're stuck in the dreaming stage. That's why dreaming is the second part of initiation. Stop lying to yourself and stop dreaming. You're lying to yourself about what you know and about how the world works, and you're dreaming. You want the world to be some fucking magical way that it is not. And you want to tell yourself the lie that it is that way. You're a little fucking dreaming child. Of course, I'm not talking to the emailer. I'm talking about people who think like that. Okay? But the emailer, the answer is, go back to my show last week. I talked about when I was actually in the room, in the ritual chamber, in the ritual house. The ritual chamber was their basement. Okay? When I was there with these Satanists talking about how they own and control the police and the military, calling them their pets, their dogs, their animals. They give them dog tags to wear, laughing at them. All right. Let me find another one here. In one of the WikiLeaks emails, it was revealed that Hillary Clinton and her ilk worship Minerva, which is a Greek goddess. Here's the email, sent me a link. Who else do they worship besides Minerva, and how? I don't really think these people worship so much as they embody negative entities and spirits. There are researchers who would disagree. In the level of Satanism I was involved in, these people did not, quote, worship anything. This is a big misnomer. I think they commune with entities and they revere entities in certain ways, but moreover, they embody them. They actually take on their energy and spirit. That's not worship. That's like saying, I know that this dark force exists and I'm going to try to use it to my benefit and advantage. That is really how they operate. And as far as the level of Satanism I saw is concerned, okay? So I never heard these people say, we worship this, and say, we worship Lucifer, we worship Satan. Most of them don't even consider these things entities, physical or non-corporeal or anything like that. They consider them archetypal. And again, I recommend listening to some of the, interviews that my former friend Jerry talks about, even from a Christian perspective. He says that most Satanists do not worship. He corroborates what I say about it. At his level of involvement, he said that they more take it on as an energy and embody it. And it's an archetype. He actually uses that term. And I agree fully. I fully agree. So that's my take on that. There are many who would say that they embody the Babylonian spirit of Moloch. Molech actually is the name of the god. The Moloch was the ritual conducted for Molech. And then, again, I talk about the god Baal, Bel, doesn't matter the vowel in the middle of it. Satan is often depicted as a bull, with bull's horns, okay, and hooves, sometimes as a goat. Again, these are archetypal images that represent forms of consciousness. This is a hard swallow for some people because they've been taught such in the Christian tradition that these are actual entities. It's like a baby-fied way of seeing it. They don't see it like that, folks. I'm trying to explain to people. I was with these people. They don't see it like that. They know that it's archetypal energy, and they're using it to their advantage. That being said, there's an old Hebrew concept, Hashatan, the Satan. People don't understand there was a definite article in front of the word Satan in Hebrew. It wasn't just Satan, it's Ha-Shatan. Okay? It means the Satan. It's the force that is the adversarial force in nature that counteracts natural law. It's involution, not evolution. It's the involutionary or entropic force. It is not the ordering force. It's the disintegrating or chaotic force. That is what these people worship. They know that they can manage that. They can never control and manage the true ordering force of syntropy, which is the true evolutionary force in creation. No one can control and manage that. That's the force of the creator of the universe. The involutionary force is the grindstone. The whetstone that sharpens the blade, that just keeps grinding away in the reverse direction. That's entropy. That's chaos. That's easy to manage. I just do fucking nothing. Or just get in somebody's ear and turn them into a fucking idiot so that they can't order anything. They can't bring order to anything. That's why we're incompetence in this movement. This is what has happened to us. We can't create any order. We don't know how. People are not mentored in this movement. They're incompetent, and that makes them impotent. Incompetence leads to impotence. There's the lesson for today. Incompetence invariably creates impotence, meaning if you are not competent in your ability, you have no power. Get competency. That's what gives you actual autonomy as an individual, and that's what gives you power in the world and influence in the world. Most people are dumb bags of fucking shit that don't want to learn or don't think they have to learn this technology. You do. This is the publishing media for the modern world. Get the fuck over it and get on it. It's too late to be in denial of this now. We need to be actively moving on this. So the answer is, folks, they don't really worship anything. They see these forces as archetypal forces, and they embody them, and then they act on them. Okay? And understand that Satan isn't even something they see as an entity in most cases. Ha-Shatan in Hebrew is the old Hebrew word for the adversary, the opposer. What do you think they're talking about? That it's an entity that actually wars against God as an entity, like two puppets in the sky? I mean, give me a fucking break. That's a child's view of the fucking world. It's the force that creates chaos and disorder in our society. They embody that because they know if they can keep people in that fucking dumb mindset, they can control them and keep creating chaos and dependency so nobody has actual independence or autonomy. No, they're not. They don't have autonomy, but they become somebody else's automatons, robots. What are your thoughts on marching and standing at attention, like in the military? Someone who's an empath told me that they can sense the magic in these things and said that they block energy. She said they were designed by the Freemasons and some occultists to sum up energy. Is this true? Absolutely. I'm not going to say it's just Freemasons, okay? But military and police marching in formation is absolutely about entrainment. Look up the concept of, in occultism, of entrainment. It's entrancement, okay? It's putting people under a spell of energy, lockstepping them, conforming, We act as one. We walk as one. We march as one. We yell out as one. These are all the techniques of cults. Again, I talked about this on a recent show. Folks, I've answered all these questions a number of times. Again, this is review. And a lot of people, I can tell, you've never listened to my podcast. I don't mean this one episode. This is episode 233. Have you listened to all 233 episodes? The answer is no, or you wouldn't even have this question because I've answered it. This is what I'm saying, folks. I've covered it. You haven't done your homework. Folks, what it took me 20 fucking years of my life, longer than that, to learn what I know. Solid 20 years. I've condensed it down into a couple hundred hours. You don't think that you could do your due diligence and have a little modicum of respect for the 20 years of hell I went through to bring this information to you in a condensed form? Then I have people going, why don't you cut the commercials? I cut the commercials out. Why don't you cut talking about the events? Because that's the great work, jackass. That's the great work, jackass. That's your first name and last name, jackass. Mr. S. First name Jack. That's the great work. What people are doing in the world. I want to highlight that over and over and over. And I'm going to. If you don't want to fucking weed through that to get to the material, so fucking what? Tough fucking balls, son. No more baby feeding it to you or even being nice to you. Then shut it the fuck off and it's your fucking funeral, asshole. That's your answer. If you don't want to weed through my commercials, I even did the nicety of taking out the fucking network's commercials. If you don't want to weed through my fucking commercials about events that I hosted or other people helping me do the great work hosted, tough fucking balls, son, little girl. I mean, this is the level of fucking baby-fied shit I hear on a daily basis that your owners are fucking laughing at you. They are laughing hilariously in your fucking face, all up in your face, laughing at you. Because they know what a fucking child you are and that you're never going to beat them with that mindset. You'll never beat these people. You'll never beat them. I'm just telling you that you have zero chance against these people and you underestimate their fucking power. You underestimate their power over the mind. You underestimate their knowledge, their drive, and their willpower. And your little fucking children who they are pissing their pants laughing at. Because they know how fucking baby-fied you are. That you are so non-tough, non-resilient. I need the fucking commercials taken out of the podcast, though. Do you know what you sound like? And then people want to go, you're complaining about this and that. Yeah, I am. I'm complaining about the actual one great work not being done. That has validity. I've done this work and put it out there for free. And you still got jackasses complaining it's not good enough. Fuck you! Do your own work, asshole! How much do I have to insult people for you to stop fucking writing to me? I don't care about what you think of my work. I'm not interested in you emailing me telling me to do it different. Fuck you! Do you get it? Look, here's what I do, and I'm serious. I'm going to keep saying it on the air as long as people keep refusing. Here's what's going to happen. As soon as I see it, I got a block list. I copy the email. Boom. In the block list. Save. Done. You can never reach me on any emails I have ever again. You're blacklisted. That's simple. And I do it. And that person was blacklisted. You're done. Okay? You get one chance to act like an adult with me now. And then you're blacklisted and no communication. Your email will never see me. It will be deleted on the server end. You will send it, you'll write your big, long, fucking blathering shit spew, and then you'll send that email, and you will have wasted your fucking time, numbnuts. Wasted your fucking time. And guess what? That's what belongs happening to you. Waste your fucking time, not mine. Could you clarify primary psychopathy as it relates to being born in a blank state? I know you've mentioned that humans are essentially born in a blank state and they're programmed to become one way or another morally. However, could primary psychopaths or sociopaths be born that way, such that they are actually born from evil or a negative dimension or something like that? I've seen sociopaths that defy the very meaning of being a moral human, such as the psychopaths you just mentioned, like the Podestas, etc. It is hard to wrap your mind around it when you never thought that kind of evil could exist within the human makeup. Well, it very most certainly does, but I have a little bit of a different take that it just comes from some evil dimension. No. Folks, psychopathy, even what we call primary psychopathy, is brain damage. And there are two things that largely cause it in primary psychopaths. So here's the thing. When we were discussing primary psychopathy, I said that there's a few things that cause it. And there are. What do people think? They think things like this. They think, oh, they're just evil. Satan got them. They're incarnate souls from an evil dimension. No, it doesn't work like that, okay? There's a scientific answer in the very real world. Some people go, oh, just God made them like that to test other people, right? No, God's not a sadist. God doesn't do that. He doesn't just fucking play games with us, our emotions, our lives. God gives us free will. The creator of the universe gifted us with the greatest gift. Create whatever you want. I won't get involved. That's called free will, ladies and gentlemen, and we all have it. Okay? And you know what we're building with that free will? A prison for ourselves. We could have built anything. We could have built a wonderful paradisical realm where people treat each other well, everybody's needs are met, and we have a great learning experience to grow and move on to other places. But you know what we built? A prison. With all that freedom and all that free will, we said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to become afraid of our own fucking shadow, go inside our own bullshit, and then build a prison as a result. That's the folly of the imbeciles called the human species. We're going to let the least of us run the whole fucking place as tyrants, playing God, and we're going to build a shit show prison. And that's what the world has become. You should be very proud of yourself, assholes. That's what you built. So, folks, they're not coming in from an evil dimension. God isn't doing it to torture us. These are bullshit ideas, okay? Let me tell you how primary psychopathy happens. It happens in two basic ways. It happens as a result of some type of fucked up expression in the human genome, which was put there by something other than human beings. That's one way it happens. And I've talked about that as interference theory in the human evolutionary progression. Go back in the podcast and listen to all that work. Okay? And the other way it happens is birth brain trauma. Trauma to the midbrain at birth. The midbrain or limbic system or mammalian brain makes possible the full range of human emotions because the glands in the midbrain, like the thymus, the thalamus, the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, etc., and other glands in the midbrain, generate the neuropeptides, which are chemicals within the brain that connect into receptor sites in the brain that enable us and make it possible for us to physically feel the repercussions of our behavior that we perform unto others in the world in our physiology and anatomy. That is why we actually feel in the body when we have an emotional response, when something happens to someone else, and when we do things to other people. This is called the normal emotional response in a normal human being when it's not damaged or broken. When there is brain damage, physical brain damage to the midbrain, those functions of the midbrain, the mammalian brain or limbic system, the mammal complex of the brain, do not function at all, or the function is limited or broken in some fashion. Therefore, these people don't experience a true range or a full range of human emotions, and this is called psychopathy. Secondary psychopathy results when, through trauma during life, post-birth, a person, whether as a child or as an adult, goes through trauma that the chemical reactions in the brain from the trauma eventually damage that part of the brain, the mammalian brain, or the limbic brain, the limbic complex of the brain. So that's called a secondary psychopath because it happens due to experiences and traumas post-birth in life. The primary psychopath had that done to their brain at birth as a result of birth trauma, possibly a very narrow birth canal, and the head was compressed and that part of the brain was damaged. Or it is a genetic condition turned on by something environmental in the human genome, possibly at birth, that was created in the genome because of the inaccurate genetic manipulation done at the chemical level instead of at the atomic level by beings that interfered in the natural progression of human development on Earth. And once again, that is my Cosmic Abandonment series of work. Go back and view it and listen to it. Not just the video, all the podcasts on the topic. Plus, there's so much on that on the Ark, you barely get through it in a human lifetime. But most people won't do that work. They want the sound bite. They want the sound bite. Give it to me in 30 seconds, Mark. It doesn't work that way. Learning about how this world works doesn't work in a 30-second sound bite. You got to do hard work and sacrifice a part of your life that you would rather spend doing other things to learn. And there's no shortcut. Never any shortcuts. Please, folks, try to be more brief and get right to the question, okay? It's my understanding that the work is more powerful when combined efforts of multiple people. Just what I said, that's how they work, through a mastermind, okay? I would like to ask if you have sought interviewer audience with some of the other juggernauts he mentions: David Icke, Jordan Maxwell, Joseph P. Farrell, Catherine Austin Fitz, James Corbett. I have not interviewed David Icke. I briefly was in his presence at Anarchy when I went down there a couple years ago. I decided not to disturb David because he looked like he was at the very end of his day. And I know how I feel when I'm like that and having a million people come up to me. So I decided to respect his privacy and not bother him. But I was only in the room with David Icke. I've never actually spoken with him in person, privately. Jordan Maxwell, I have had on my show. I plan on having him on again soon. Joseph P. Farrell, I've spoken with him, and I kind of think he's sort of an asshole. To be quite frank, I think he's a little full of himself and full of ego because he's an author. I invited him to come to Free Your Mind too, and his response to me is, "Why would I want to take part in that conference?" And no respect for my work, just very arrogant like that. And I'll just say it publicly. I said something about what's 411 guy's name, David, whatever. David, not important. I love Joseph P. Farrell's work, but I'll probably not work with him because of how arrogantly he came off to me with all the fucking work I've done. That doesn't inspire mutual respect for me. So you got a lot of people still in ego. I mean, could you imagine if David Icke said, "Mark, I want to come on your show," and I go, "Why would I want to bring you on my show, David?" Yeah, could you imagine? I don't even care what Michael Tessarion thinks about me personally. I understand he doesn't like me very much. So what? You don't have to like me. I can respect you as a person doing the work. If he asked me to come on my show, of course I would allow him to, for the work he's done. No, you don't need to like me. I've been on a show with James Corbett. I'm trying to think who had that show. I think it was was it David Knight? Vinny Eastwood. Vinny Eastwood had me on with James Corbett. And then Catherine Austin Fitz, no, I've never spoken with her personally, but I think her work is great. The list is long and exhaustive, but there are many genuine teachers out there. The dark occultists succeed because at the end of the day, they have that one drive and purpose, while it sometimes feels like we all die in our own foxholes. Beautifully said. We all die in our own foxholes while they're all on the same page. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better. Great way of wording it. Are you open to building bridges with other researchers? Well, absolutely. That's what the whole One Great Work Network is about. So if somebody like, David Icke said, I want to have content on the One Great Network, on the One Great Work Network, of course I would include him. Jordan Maxwell, of course I would include him. Any great researchers. There has to be some basic mutual respect, and understand why we're doing this. But once that's out of the way, I would love to have many people like that on the network. So my ego's out of the way in this, folks. You got to understand, as long as it advances the war effort, I don't care if I'm in that foxhole with even people I don't like personally. As long as we're going to advance the cause together. You think all these Satanists like each other? Folks, this is what, again, I am actually going to post the links of my former friend who's talking about this from a Christian perspective, but he talks about it. A lot of these Satanists don't like themselves, but guess what? They can work together. He knows how it works to a large extent. There are some things I wouldn't agree with, but to a large extent, he is saying pretty much the things I'm saying, So I'll highlight his work and I'll link from this podcast and you could check it out for yourself. So that's my take on that, of course, So I think that was a good question and an actual good way to put it. So I've taken all emails this week. Next week, all calls, no emails. How about that? We'll do it like that. I agree with eating solely plant-based for moral reasons. However, I'm concerned about the burning of the earth's blood, meaning oil, to bring plant-based foods and fruits to where I live. Well, you know what? Until we get people understanding morality, I wouldn't expect anti-gravitic propulsion anytime soon, emailer. Okay? The question coming in from email. Look, we can't do that much about cars right now. You're going to walk everything everywhere it needs to be taken. I mean, let's be somewhat pragmatic and realistic. Okay? Unless you're going to go and invent the flying car and not get killed, which if you did successfully, you'd get killed and they'd take it from you. They're not going to let anything like that out. It's not going to be allowed as long as these people are in control. Tesla-type technology, free energy technology, do not expect it to ever come out to the public as long as government exists. As long as, let me say this again, and I want to say this to everybody in the Tesla Science Foundation. All of you better listen. Okay? You can ignore it at your own peril. It's true nonetheless. Everybody in all the Tesla movements throughout the world, especially the Tesla Science Foundation, you will never succeed. Tesla's vision will never happen. I want everybody to really deeply hone in, focus in on what I'm about to say. Tesla's vision and Tesla's technology will never happen on this planet for as long as government exists. It cannot manifest. It is an impossibility according to the laws of creation. The laws of God forbid the manifestation of Tesla technology and free energy technology while government exists. Cannot occur. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It means that the public or slaves can never actually have it at their disposal while government exists. Eternal law of God. And that is true. Not because I said it. I understand that from an extremely high level occult position of knowledge that comes down from the highest levels of Kabbalah, Tarot, Freemasonry, Rosicrucianism, and ancient Cometian philosophy, ancient alchemy, and every other occult tradition from the dawn of time, and all of the initiates who taught those traditions of morality from the dawn of human time. And it is eternally true, according to the laws of the Creator, that no free energy technology will ever be manifested and had by the people, the slaves of planet Earth, for as long as government exists on this planet. 99.99% of you do not understand that eternal truth and law. And that is why you fail. Get as offended as you like. I don't care whether you like me or not. As a result, it's still eternally true in creation. And a lot of you guys have a lot to learn about how it really works. And honestly, again, I'm done saying it nicely. I'm cutting everybody off. Everybody's getting cut off unless they understand the principles of morality that all the occult traditions have been teaching throughout time. Rosicrucianism, Tarot, Kabbalah, Freemasonry, and on and on. The Egyptian tradition, the Egyptian mystery schools, the Greek mystery schools. Falling on deaf ears. People saying they're members of these groups in name only, but not understanding the esoteric underlying moral truth. Government is slavery. It always has been and it always will be. Tesla's vision is dead. I said it. Tesla's vision is dead and will never come to life until government is ended. Until human slavery on planet Earth is ended. Don't hope for it. Don't hold your breath for it. You will not succeed in making it happen until government is ended first. Everybody who thinks it can happen any other way, you're as childish as the little people in the vegan movement who don't understand human rights and freedom and the ending of government. You're as childish as the little boys and girls in the, what was the other movement I was talking about earlier about this? The free software movement that think, oh, we're going to have free software and it's going to be everywhere, and you don't understand human slavery. The free energy movement is just as childish. And I'm not helping anymore. I'm not helping it anymore. I don't care who it is from where they're at. Until they understand the end of government and the end of human slavery, I will not put my effort into the free energy movement anymore. As far as I'm concerned, I'm done with that. All of my eggs are in one basket of ending the human slavery called government, the end. I will not take part in any of those efforts. That's it. So, I'm not doing any ancillary work. I'm focused here intently on my work and getting the truth of the message of natural law and the laws of creation and the ending of the state, the ending of government slavery out to the public. And I'm not going to be taken off that mission for any ancillary purposes, especially from movements that the bulk of their movement does not understand the truth and is trying to put the cart before the horse. And it will never work that way till the end of time. And I don't care if anybody doesn't like me as a result, then don't like me. So this person continues and said, I'm concerned with the burning of the earth's blood to bring plant-based foods and fruit to where I live. Well, you know what? You better start teaching morality, individual writing this email, because the longer you wait on teaching the great work, the longer people are going to stay on fossil-based, alleged fossil fuels and taking the earth's blood, which is what that is. And they say, I live in a climate where such foods is not a climate where such foods grow plentifully. And again, then people say, in such case, does it not stand to reason that evil is still being done by burning earth's blood to keep me alive? Yes, that is part of natural law. And people who say, oh, well, what about all the people who live in the non-temperate zones and they can't grow food? And I retort with, why do you imagine erroneously that human beings belong in all the non-temperate zones on Earth? First of all, why do you think that the way that the Earth is the way it always has been? What, you think we've always had seasons? You've never even thought about it. A cataclysm threw the earth at a 23.5 degree angle in the ancient past and created what we call the seasons, and the season of life and season of death, the planting season and the hoarding season. Call it whatever you want. It's the survival mechanism of earth, or the thing that threw people in the survival mechanism, threw them into the R complex as a species, threw them into that survival mode, that scarcity-based mindset. We were once a planet whose rotation, whose axial rotation was at a 0 degree angle with respect to its orbit around our star. Yeah, that's a mouthful, but just go research it. We were once a planet that had an axial rotation angle of 0 degrees with respect to the plane of orbit around our star, which means we had eternal spring. You could plant and harvest at any place on the earth other than the extreme poles. We're running out of time, few minutes left. It wasn't always like this. When the cataclysm happened, a lot of people wanted to try to adapt and stay in the places where they once were and managed to survive, which then became extreme, harsh climates. What makes you think human beings belong in the Arctic circles? What makes you think human beings even belong anywhere above 30 degrees above or below the equatorial regions? They don't, is the answer. But nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear, I'm still fine, I'm still a moral person because I eat meat because I'm, way up in the non-temperate zones. Well, maybe human beings don't belong in those zones while we're in this angle with respect to our star. Maybe we should be from 30 north to 30 south, where you could essentially grow food and that's it. I mean, I don't know why that's so hard to understand. No, and I'm not advocating for eugenics for the other assholes that will think that. No, I'm just saying once a cataclysm like that happened, it should have pushed people toward the temperate zones, but it really didn't. They stayed where they were and decided they're going to eat animals. The survival mechanism drove them to a meat-eating way of life. See, this is the thing. Nobody looks at the underlying reasons. You just want to hear what you want to hear, right? I'm not talking even about the email. I'm talking about the general public. You just want to talk about the things that you currently understand, but you don't want to go back in ancient history and look at what may have been the way things were then, and they're different now. And again, we started the show a few seconds later, so there might be a little bit longer before the card drops down. I'm going to keep going real quick. So, in such a case, okay, so, this is a big vegan, anti-vegan argument. Oh, fruits and vegetables don't grow at these latitudes on the earth. Why should these people be vegan? Nobody on earth needs meat. That doesn't mean you should do it again quickly. Again, most of the reason people fail at transitioning to a vegan diet is they don't transition to a vegan diet. They're dumb, hard-headed dunces who want to do it all in one shot. Cold turkey. Well, guess what? You're going to do harm to your body. And that's why people go, oh, veganism hurt me. And I ask, how long did you transition for? Did you transition for about at least a year, maybe 2 years? No, I stopped eating meat all in one day. Well, you're a fucking idiot. That's the answer. Here's my guest next week, folks. We're going to go to my guest for next week. He is an expert on transitioning to a vegan diet by going cold turkey. Listen, you don't need to go cold. You don't need to transition over a year or two to a vegan diet. You just stop fucking eating meat all in one shot. 1 second, you go, I'll never eat meat again right now. And, oh my God, I got sick. I'm puking my fucking balls up now. I'm so fucking sick. I just went vegan on 1 second. I decided to go vegan. And it doesn't work. That's why all the vegans can't, that's why they're all sick. Because they just suddenly went vegan like me, because I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah, that's my guest next week, folks. He really knows what he's talking about. Can't you tell? That's all the time we have for this episode of What on Earth is Happening. How about trying to get out there and do the actual great work so this world isn't such a fucking hellhole, huh? We'll see you next week.